last year's O-line class just kind of imploded.
So underwhelming.
Meeting.
Just everything. The last year's O-line class.
Yeah, I mean, we've just had trouble keeping big O-line recruits with, to be honest, if you were one of the best O-linemen in the country, it didn't seem like a hot spot to land at, for decent reason.
Right. All right, we are live on YouTube, fellas. Gonna tweet this out, let people know. First guest on the show is B. Beal. Let's go.
Love it.
All right, let me close this. I have like 4 different windows open. It's kind of ridiculous. All right, we are officially live. It is March 28th. Welcome to the first ever No Names All Game live stream. I'd like to start this ceremony by cracking the ceremonious Bud Light. It's a 2020. Been sitting in the fridge for at least a day.
Okay.
It's going to be nice. So, boys, cheers. We're going to get through this quarantine together. How you guys doing?
Oh, just doing nothing really.
That's a strong start. Strong start. Brandon, how are you, man? Welcome to the show. We've had you on before. Audibly, this is the first visual. The folks are going to get to see you. How you doing, man?
Again, the canceling of the ski season really hurts, but it's all right.
Yeah, so you're in Utah right now?
Yeah, I'm in Utah right now, and just not much to do in Salt Lake, and the mountains are closed.
Yeah, that's almost worse because like you're right there, you're right at the mountains, but you can't actually do anything. It's pretty sad. I need to, and people are like, oh well, the quarantine will be over soon. And I'm like, okay, well, I still have to wait until November, December next year to go skiing again. So I'm like, oh, yeah,
but it's for the good of everyone. So I support it.
Nice. Well, we do have a little bit of positive Penn State news. We were just talking before we went live here. New commit for the first time in a while. We saw a "We Are Better" tweet from James Franklin. Kind of forgot what that felt like. But we land Landon Tengwall, 4-star offensive tackle in the 2021 class, and this is pretty huge. So, Brandon, I know you're a recruiting guy. You follow this. What was your instant thoughts on the Tengwall commitment?
Hopefully this gets us back. I really hope in last year's commit and decommit, just the constant flow of it. I really hope that was an anomaly of a year. Just kind of like all the dominoes fell the wrong way. But I'm excited. There's a couple guys up there, and that was one of the guys where I felt like, and I've been saying it all year, we have to get him. I think the other one was Ruschi.
Yep, Nolan Rucci.
Roland Rucci. We have to get him. Like, there's a couple guys we kind of have to get to really just to prove that we are continuously competitive. So I think it's a huge get. Must win. Glad we did it.
Yeah, absolutely. Pat, you're our O-line expert with how much you've loved him. Asked, how big is this? So how excited are you for Tengwall?
Dude, I mean, I think it's huge. Like, this guy, he's just got all the buildings of like all the trappings of like a guy who's gonna make it,
Yeah.
And I also think, Brandon brought up, kind of getting guys and losing guys on the O-line. I think this just shows you like we made the right move with the new O-line coach.
Yeah.
He's gonna get the big recruits. He does it right away in his first season, and as long as he can hold on to him, I mean, you got to think that this is a great sign.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think so. They said I watched some of Tengwall's like announcement, and he said that the new coach Troutwine did call him like 30 minutes after he got the job, which is obviously reassuring for a guy that we've been recruiting for several years. It was kind of funny. He asked him, he's like, yeah, coach, I didn't really hear from you before this because Troutwine was at Boston College. And he's like, yeah, I knew you wouldn't give us the time of the day up there. So I didn't even bother, which I thought was pretty funny. And Tengwall gave a big shout out to Tyler Bowen, said he was, a huge part of his recruitment as well. So obviously shows that. But yeah, Tengwall's a 4-star. Wouldn't shock me if he becomes a 5-star by the end of this cycle. Remember, these kids are just going into their senior football season, if there is one. We'll get to that right now. But yeah, he's the 7th ranked tackle, number 1 player in Maryland, and number 45 overall. So obviously, a big kickstart to this class that only has 2 other guys in it, 2 3-stars. But yeah, there are some like must gets for this class, like Brandon was saying. So Nolan Rucci, let's start with the O-line. Nolan Rucci, number 14 overall player in the country. He is a 5-star. He's the number 3 offensive tackle, number 1 player in Penn State. Currently, all signs point to Penn State. This would be pretty damn huge to get not 1 top O-line commit, but 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those areas of our team I think has just been the weakest overall for like nearly a decade now.
Yeah. A couple others on the O-line. Number 15 overall, so right after Rucci, is a guy named Tristan Lee, another 5-star offensive tackle, number 2 player in Virginia. They currently have him projected towards Clemson, but his recruitment has been kind of a little bit all over. He started interacting with Penn State. I think he took a visit. That would be great. And then a guy named Rocco Spindler is number 49 overall, 4-star offensive guard from Michigan. So you look at this and like, hey, there's 4 offensive linemen in the top 50 overall players of this class. If we come away with 2 of them, I think I'm happy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a win. Yeah. Huge win in the class for the day.
It is funny to me, like when we see these top prospects sign, like what are your guys' expectations? Like obviously it's different depending on the position, if they're going to play earlier, but it always cracks me up to see people on Twitter who are like, wow, could you imagine this line? And then they name out those 4 guys in the same class. And it's like, that's never going to come to fruition. You're not going to see 4 guys in the same class be your starting 4 offensive linemen. I don't think it happens. Have you does that happen elsewhere? And maybe I just missed it.
And I'm not staying abreast on every team's offensive line roster. I got to be honest with you.
You are an expert. But yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, if we can land two guys, that is perfect. If we can land 3 of those guys, that's an incredible win. And then you hope that 2 of them pan out really, really well. Like that's my best case scenario, I think.
Yeah. What's the name, the 5-star guy's name again?
Nolan Rucci.
Yeah. What's the crystal balls looking like on him?
Nolan Rucci is 75% to Penn State.
I like that.
Yeah, a lot of them are older predictions. Like he's very quiet. He's the opposite of Landon Tengwall. Landon Tengwall is like very outspoken, committed live on Rivals with the video. Rucci's like just very quiet, does his thing. So I don't think we're gonna know a lot about him until like it happens. But I think Tengwall's a huge piece. We talked like Ohio State recruiting is just kicking ass right now. I don't know how much you guys are following. It's unreal. They just landed, what's the kid's name? Trayvon Henderson, 5-star running back, which I think is their 2nd running back in the class. It's like, and one of our questions from the last episode was like, what's it going to take to catch up to them? Or like, are we worried about recruiting? And like my first answer initially was no, it's March. I'm not worried. Like starting to get a little worried. Brandon, what's your overall feel on this class? Do you think I don't think we're gonna catch Ohio State this year because they're on a tear, but like, how do you feel about where we are, some of the guys that are still on the board and where we might land with it?
So through the last 4 years, 11-win seasons, we have to follow it up in the recruiting trail. We were killing it early, but it's starting to look like that the recruiting landscape is changing, whereas people were before, not everyone went to the same school. I'd say the NBA effect is kind of happening in college football right now. And I mean, it's like everyone gets a choice of where they want to play, but it's no longer, oh, we have this amount of kids to spread around. It's like, hey, these 5 programs are going to get a majority of the 4- and 5-star guys. And we have to be that 6th program. And I think the only thing that is going to get us there is consistency. The coaching changes have killed us. You can't recruit a kid. We shouldn't have lost Julian Fleming. Like that's, and we lost him to Ohio State, so it's not like we lost him to, I don't know, like Michigan State or something. But at the end of the day, it was a recruit we can't lose if we expect ourselves to be there. So hopefully, I like our coaching core right now. The only thing I would like to see is Tyler Bowen continue to promote, so we keep him. But I like our coaching right now, especially on offense, and I would love for that to not change. But obviously,
because Franklin gave Bowen the co-offensive coordinator title, which always like that always makes me laugh because if you look at the history, there's always a co-offensive and co-defensive coordinator, but like you would never know it if you didn't look it up. Like Kirk Shiraka is the offensive coordinator, but you give Tyler the title, maybe a little extra money.
I was gonna say it's probably a pay bump.
Yeah, probably a little bit extra, a little quiche there.
Well, he did run game court. He did our entire run game last year with him, and it was great.
Yeah,
and
true.
so I'm thinking hopefully to keep him around with stuff like that. But
I agree. So some of the other, I'm looking at just top 50 overall kids in this class, talking 2021. A couple other top prospects or must gets for us. Number 47 overall, the number 6 wide receiver, Dante Thornton. You remember he was committed to us a while back, decommitted. He's so hard to read, man. He's one who like changes his Twitter all the time. It's like a picture of him at Oregon, and then it's a picture of him there, and then he's like tweeting "We are," and I have no idea what the kid's gonna do, but I really hope he comes back because I think he's a special prospect. We talked about the offensive lineman, and then the top, I would say 2 like prize jewels of this class. Tony Grimes, number 7 overall. He's a 5-star corner out of Virginia, and then our top prospect, Brandon. I know you're very familiar here. Number 5 overall in the class, Caleb Williams, the number 1 quarterback out of DC. This kid is so good, man. He is so good.
Yeah, isn't he like 80% to Georgia or something, or not like something like that?
Oklahoma right now.
Oklahoma, yeah.
His picture, his profile picture is currently his mom hugging Lincoln Riley. Doesn't really help us, but his profile picture like a week ago was him at LSU. So it's fluid. It's fluid.
I think at one point we were the front runners too, like earlier in his recruitment. It's going to be those last visits, and it's going to be our season. It's like that's what's going to come down to, those last visits.
Yeah,
and we get on the campus last.
Yeah, so if we look at his top 5.
I mean, if you're a quarterback, though, why wouldn't you go to Oklahoma right now?
I know. It's so hard. Like, Lincoln Riley has done wonders with that program and quarterbacks in particular. But his top 5 are Clemson, LSU, Maryland, Penn State, and Oklahoma. I would be shocked if he goes to Maryland. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I think it's a 4-team race here. Like I said, Oklahoma is his most recent visit, so that's why everyone's talking about it. It's exciting. LSU, like they lost a lot of coaches after this year, so as much as he loves them, I don't know about that. Clemson is Clemson. Trevor Lawrence will be gone. That's a wide open opportunity to step into. And then there's us. I agree on-field play definitely needs to dictate it, but like, what do you think about the quarterback room in general? We'll talk depth chart a little bit later, but you've got, what is it? So it's Cliff, Levis, Roberson, Johnson Jr., and Micah Bowens. Like, what's the pitch to this kid of like, hey, yeah, you're going to come in and jump 4 of these guys. Like, how do you sell that?
I think he will. That's what they stole Justin Fields on, and clearly Justin Fields would have done it. It's if you tell him, hey man, you're gonna compete just like everyone else, and you're gonna push these guys to start. And I think we have some projects on our team right now.
The one thing that I guess we have on Oklahoma is there is a chance he could go there and not start till his senior year, because they've already got a stud in Spencer Rattler, who I think redshirted last year.
Yeah, he is young, right?
Yeah.
That's actually, I don't even know that. That's a great call. Let me look that up. Spencer Rattler.
I think he was in like the 18-19 class or something.
Yeah, he's the heir apparent. He is. ESPN has him listed as a freshman, so yeah, he must have redshirted last year, and then
he's a stud.
All right, that's a good point. I'm back in. Caleb Williams coming to Penn State. Let's fucking go.
And if not, we will get Spencer Rattler as a transfer.
Sure.
Don't sleep on Maryland.
Hardship waiver,
Loxley has been recruiting his butt off. Do not sleep on Maryland.
I agree.
Makes me nervous down at Maryland.
I agree. He has. Where did I say Caleb Williams is from? DC. So that's, even closer to home than Penn State. So yeah. I get it. I just feel like
their on-field performance is just not good enough, though. Come on.
But that's such
I agree.
Savior of this program, and I'm going to take them. Like, he would have to really believe that he can go and like lead that program to a national championship. Or he can go to Oklahoma and just be another name in the long line of Oklahoma quarterbacks, or he can go to LSU and be the guy who has to follow up Joe Burrow, or he can go to Penn State. We have a great coach, a great fan base, and a very strong core team around you that you can be the guy who finally gets us over the top. That's my pitch.
5 hours away.
Still 5 hours away. Listen.
Still 5 hours away.
You don't want to be that close. You're at school, you're doing your thing. You don't want mom and dad coming to check on you all the time. Penn State, a little social distancing, if you will.
Gotcha.
So that's it on recruiting 2021. We got 3 kids right now in the class. We hope that continues to increase over these next couple months. I know recruiting is obviously affected by all this COVID-19, just like everything else, but that's where we are. We got a couple of other actual topics, but let's pivot to some pretty hard-hitting questions that we're getting on Twitter right now. You guys might have seen some ones earlier, but I'm going to even newer Walk On Red Shirts podcast, our friends. We're going to get them on here at some point. I'm really bad at organizing, but we'll get them here at some point. They just wrote in, who would win in a fight, Johnny Football or Joe Burrow? Who you got, Pat?
Johnny Football's probably pretty out of shape at this point. How tall is Joe Burrow?
6'3", probably 6'4".
He's got the reach, so I'm going with Joe Burrow.
All right, what about both of them in their college football prime?
Joe Burrow's still got the reach, you know? He's going to keep Johnny Manziel on the outside and a couple 1-2s. Joe
Burrow is 6'4". Johnny Manziel.
I see Johnny Manziel having a glass jaw too, you know? Just like one little right there, Fred, he drops.
Johnny, I've got listed at 6 foot 209. Joe Burrow.
230.
Jesus. Joe Burrow. I'm live Googling if you couldn't tell. 6'4". Where's your weight, dude? We just looked at this.
Okay. I'm taking Joe Burrow.
16. So he doesn't have that much weight on him.
Really?
I mean, this is from Google. I'm not going by combine results. He probably put on some weight. I would imagine he's probably like a 220, 225-ish. I have my guess. Brandon, what are you going with?
Well, before I was going to go Joe Burrow, but the weight, 216 is kind of small.
Right?
Yeah, that's kind of light. Johnny Manziel might get him on that one. He's probably a little stronger too. 6'4", he's a little lanky. 6'4", 216. A little lanky for a QB.
I'm going Johnny Manziel 100%.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go. I'm switching.
He's scrappy. He's crazy. He parties a lot, so he's probably got that drunk strength just built into him at this point. And Joe Burrow's like a pretty boy, man. Joe Burrow, like he's just coming off of winning the national championship, going to be the number 1 pick. Everything is going great. Even if we're doing it in real life, Johnny's got a lot of pent up angst for the way his career went. He's going to come out fighting.
He's got something to prove.
So I'm going to take Johnny Manziel. Johnny, if you're listening, which of course you probably are, we'd love to have you on the show. Okay, other hard-hitting questions. These came in back-to-back, so you know they're important. Walk On Red Shirts asked, is a taco a sandwich? And then Brad Chase asked, is a hot dog a sandwich? So.
No and no.
No and no. Okay, I agree. Brandon, is a hot dog a sandwich?
A hot dog is a hoagie.
A hoagie? Ooh. I've never heard that argument in my life.
A hot dog is a hoagie. That's the answer. Now, is a hoagie a sandwich? That's another discussion. Hot dog's a hoagie. A hot dog's a hoagie. And tacos, no, they're not.
Yeah, taco is ridiculous. Walk on. Your fighting question was better than your taco question. I've been pretty adamant on the hot dog. No, is not a sandwich. Like you look up the definition, and I mean, this is an age-old debate, right? You look up the definition and people talk about, a sandwich is any type of meat that's surrounded by bread and has some sort of like vegetables or condiments on it. But I don't think so, man. Like when you go to a restaurant, even burgers have their own separate section, right? It says, or if they have them together, they say burgers and sandwiches. A burger fits that description of what a sandwich should be, but they still call it something else. So my opinion is if they call it something else, it's not a sandwich. That's it. You wouldn't say I'm going to have a hamburger sandwich. I'm going to have a hot dog sandwich. I'm going to have a taco sandwich. Like if you're going to make a taco sandwich, it's going to be taco meat that you're going to put on some bread. And that's weird. And I think you're psychotic. So that's a quick, easy question. We're going to go no all around. We have 2 people watching the live stream right now. Whoever those 2 are, we appreciate you. Thank you. There is about a 20-second delay, so they'll see that in 20 seconds from now. Let's see what other questions we got. So we talked recruiting. Let's see. CJ Scalzetti says, what is your most drunk time at PSU and your best experience at PSU after you graduated? So let's start. This is live. Obviously, you can say whatever you want, but just be aware that this is live. Most drunk time at PSU. Got any good stories, fellas?
I mean,
that you can tell, and
it's like a 1,000-way tie.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair. That's fair. Yeah.
I've got one pretty good one. Back when I was working at Bar Blue after my student days, I think it was right before the Ohio State game. I decided it would. Well, one of my buddies convinced me to go start drinking at Kildare's at like 10 in the morning, and my shift probably started at like 5 p.m.
Oh, geez.
And it went downhill real quick. I ended up going to this table of strangers and ordering something crazy like 17 bear fights at their table.
Oh, God.
There weren't 17 people at the table. There were like 10. I didn't count. Order all of these. Like I probably had like 2 or 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just got up and left them with this tab.
They just left. They paid for it.
Oh yeah, they paid for it.
I was waiting for the like, oh, and then I went back or I came back. No, you got out of Dodge.
No, and then like I proceeded to get even more like blacked out at the tailgates up at the fields. Come into work, like beyond shit faced.
Yep.
And I'm outside, like late at night. I'm outside working the line, and I'm like starting to come back, and this group of people walk up and like, "Hey man, how are you doing?" Listen, buddy, I don't know who you are, okay? But you're gonna have to get to the back of the line.
I think
you went to Kildare's and ordered like 17 bear fights for our table. It's like, so I'm gonna need you to get to the back of the line.
I would have let them in free at that point. Oh my God, that's incredible. What are the odds that they show up and you're working the door?
I might have been wearing my Bar Blue shirt while I was at Kildare, so probably.
Oh, they knew, so they were tracking you down. Okay.
They might have.
Well, hey, good lesson. Don't dine and dash and put things on other people's tabs if you work at a bar within the same very close proximity.
I don't know. It all worked out for me.
I'm shocked they didn't actually try to like do something back to you. Like I would have been like, yeah, listen, it's fine, but let us in. Let us cut the line or something.
Yeah, very nice people.
Shout out to those people. They're great. Brandon, any good stories, man?
I guess honestly, PCB spring break. I know that's not at Penn State, but while we were there, so it was the first day, and we had one car with us because I rode down with other people, and so there were 6 of us in the hotel room, and so they went to go to Walmart, and so I was sitting on the balcony of our hotel, and I was like, okay, well, there's some tequila and orange juice here, so I'll get a little buzz. And to this day, I have no idea what happened the rest of the day. They said they came back. I was blacked out. This is like 10:30 in the morning, first day of the PCB. And the whole week was just a blur from there. But that was probably up there. Like that was that was it.
I mean, this is a tough question because like obviously Penn State's a big party. If you go to a big party school, like the most drunk story is incredibly hard to pinpoint because there's probably like a good 45 to 50 nights that are all in that same level. And then there's maybe 1 or 2 that go up top, right? I think for me, it's one at Penn State when I was a bit younger. I was pretty drunk myself. It was, first experience at the tailgate fields. I think I was pledging at the time and just did not know how to pace myself whatsoever. But the funny part about the story is not so much me, but a friend, an older guy in the fraternity at the time. I will save his government name. Brandon, I'll tell you later. We're all getting drunk, having a good time at the field, and the cops come over. And like at this point, underages were just a thing. Like at almost every tailgate, somebody would get an underage. It was just a happening. So this cop starts talking to him. Cop's on a bike. Like, come on, man. Like, let me see your ID. And he just genuinely doesn't have his ID on him, which is an absurd move. But doesn't have the ID. So he starts telling the cop. The cop's like, what's your phone number? And he starts rattling off numbers just without stopping and gets like 30, 40 digits. Like the cop's like, all right, man, what's your address? He's just making shit up. He tried to tell the cop that he was 7'5", 386 pounds. And he was like a skinny kid. But anyway, the cop, I guess, figures it out somehow, gets him the underage. And we're walking back to like the fraternity house. And we stopped at McClanahan's. He's like, hey, I need cigarettes or something like that. And the cashier goes, hey, I need to see your ID because I guess you need to be 18 to buy cigarettes or something. He goes, well, I don't have my ID, but I do have this underage. And you'll see the cop clearly wrote that I'm 20, not 21, which means I'm old enough to buy cigarettes. And the girl was just like, all right, I don't care, and gave it to him. One of the most ridiculous like sequences of events that I've ever been a part of that like somehow worked. I don't know how the cop even wrote the underage without an ID. Like that. And then for him to like use that as his identification to buy cigarettes, pretty funny time.
That's impressive.
All right, what about best experience at PSU after you've graduated? Not drunk time, just like anytime you've gone back since graduating. Any amazing experiences?
I still
Ohio
lived
State game,
there
hands down.
for years.
Run, Brandon.
I said Ohio State game, hands down.
Oh, which one?
Obviously.
You were the 2016
2016 in the student
Yeah.
section. Someone gave me their ticket like last minute at the house. They were just like, oh, I'm too drunk to go. And I was like, all right, cool. Got the ticket for free. Went to the game in the student section. It started misting, but it wasn't supposed to rain. So none of us had rain gear. It was like 38 degrees and misting. Worst weather ever. Halftime where we weren't losing, but we were getting our butts kicked. There's a lot of like, they were moving up and down the field. They just weren't scoring. And so we were all huddled up like this on the bleachers. And we were like, all right, if Ohio State scores again, we're leaving. So Ohio State scored, and we're like, all right. If Penn State doesn't score, we're leaving. So then Penn State scores, and we were like, and at this point, we still weren't moving the ball that easily. So we were just like, and then obviously the rest is history. But we were literally this close to leaving. Like we were like, when they were like, and we made it, we're like, they have to score a touchdown. Like even a field goal, we're out. Like we were so cold and we were wet, and we were like, none of us had rain gear on, and we were like, all right, this is it. And then they would score, and we're like, oh God, come on. And then we stopped them for the field goal, and now we're like into it because we're like, wow, all we need is a touchdown to win. All we need is a touchdown to tie it up. Like this is huge. Like, and then they blocked it, and I got punched in the face. True story. Like I don't know if someone elbowed. I don't think so. I think somebody was like this.
Yeah.
So I get hit in the face like on the return. All the bleachers get knocked. Everyone gets knocked down forward. I didn't even see the ending of it because we were on the ground. And
I'm almost kind of hoping that it wasn't by accident, not like clearly you're fine so we can laugh at it. I almost hope it was someone that was just so excited, like looked to you. It was like, yeah.
I don't know what happened. I just know I caught to the face, and I was like, what? Like, what just happened? And then everyone just pushed forward because we were just so you couldn't stand. The bleachers were moving so much, and it was insanity. It was wet. It was insanity. And then getting onto the field is probably one of the most harrowing experiences I think that I've had at Beaver Stadium. There's a little bit of a crush in that gap. And there's a little bit of crush of people trying to get over because you can't just get over and hop down. It's like a 9-foot drop. Like it's up there from the top of that railing down. It's up there. And so like you can't. So it's like really slow, and everyone wanted to get on. And then when people got to the front, they're like, oh yeah, you can't just hop that and like ride it down. So, but yeah, what a time.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to that game. I was living in California at the time, so it wasn't like it was something we were planning, and then like as it got closer, decided not very last minute. But I remember watching it on TV and being like, "Fuck, I wish I was there." Well, shout out to the kid who gave up his ticket to you because that's awesome. He's an idiot, but pretty cool. Pat, what about you? Anything post grad that you've really loved? I mean, you've been out west for a while now.
Yeah, I'll tell my story of the same game actually. So you'll see a pattern here.
Love it.
Going to work at Bar Blue before the Ohio State game, extremely drunk. 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row.
Were you still in school, or you were just living there?
No, I was just living there.
Okay, cool.
And this time I was so drunk, my boss was like, "Get the fuck, get out of here!" Like kicked me out. It was like, "You can't keep doing this." And so I thought I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna get fired! Like this is a mess." And someone's like, "Hey, dude, like just forget about it. Like come watch the game with us, like at one of the frat houses." And so I'm watching the game, and yeah, it was like miserable. Like even though we weren't losing by a ton, it felt like we were losing by 30 the whole game.
Yep.
And then like you start to creep back in a little bit. And you're like, oh wow, like we're probably not going to win, but like this is a close game. And like to this point, we really hadn't been a great program up before this. Like no huge wins, like maybe a win over Michigan here or there, but we were like a borderline ranked program, you know?
Right.
And then that blocked field goal, And there were like 3 Ohio State kids in the room with us, and we just started all going insane. And like people are running out into the hallway, just running up and down, screaming, like not knowing what to do. That was the best game I've ever watched.
Yeah, I believe it. This is completely non-related. Is there a unspoken agreement when you work at a bar that you can just show up drunk? Like, is that normal? To a level.
As long as you can still do your job, it depends on the place, really. Okay. Like there are a lot of places in State College where you could get away with that.
Career-wise, doesn't work out for me. That's where I'm going. But yeah, that game was absolutely incredible. I wish I was there. For me, mine is post-grad, not necessarily at Penn State, but it was the 2016 Big Ten Championship. It's the same year. I was living in Northern California at the time. We just beat, Michigan State we beat that like put us into the championship. I don't remember. Whatever happened, we get in. Like on a whim, like a bunch of us are in a group chat, like, should we go? Should we go to Indianapolis? Should we go? So I like buy a plane ticket from California. A bunch of friends from the East Coast like decide they're going to drive the 13 whatever hours it is to get to Indy. We meet there and like we're beyond excited. It's the Big Ten Championship. Like this is, no one expected us to be there. I had a nice future bet that I think I'd bet like $20 to win 800. I was like, this is gonna be a great weekend. Amazing. This is like when I had first started gambling too. So I was like, it's like $20 to win 800. Let's go. I bet it before the season started. And then we get there and we get down like 14-0 real quick. And like the whole atmosphere is awesome. Like Lucas Oil Stadium's really cool. There were a ton of Wisconsin fans there, ton of Penn State fans. Like there was a couple of local bars that just everyone was pre-gaming out before the games. Ton of Penn Staters that we knew. Ton of fun. We get in there. We're so excited. We have great seats. And then we get down early. We're like, fuck. We just spent all of this money to come here and we're going to get blown out. Thankfully, Gesicki scores a touchdown. Blacknell comes alive, 2 touchdowns. And then the moment I will never forget. It's the prettiest pass I've ever seen in my life. Saquon Barkley wheel route, just Trace McSorley, the wizard of Camelot, and they never look back. It's amazing.
Do you remember what a second half team we were that season?
What's that?
You remember like what a second half team we were that season?
Yeah.
Like every game we just had the worst first half. And then the second half just explode.
Exactly. And that's like what we kept telling ourselves. Now joining the program, Alex Ferraro. What's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
How's it going, guys?
We're reliving our best memories of Penn State after we graduated. So
hey, I have to say something before, because this is about to come out. I left the Michigan game early before Alex tells everybody.
He said after Penn State.
Which game? Which game did you leave early?
We had during
Michigan 4 overtime game that we went to.
2013, yeah.
Oh, buddy.
I left early. I also got free tickets to that game. Left early.
Tickets about it. So yeah, Alex, we're talking best memory at Penn State after you graduated. So Brandon talked about 2016 Ohio State. He got a free ticket, rushed the field. Pat talked about drunkenly watching it in State College. Fantastic. I was just telling the story about the 2016 Big Ten Championship that I went to in Indy, which is amazing. That wheel route, it's sex. It's pure pornography. I can watch that. If I'm like sad and I need to be a little happy, I'm going to watch that route. And it was just awesome because it was cool. Like after the game was over, I've never actually seen like one of those celebrations in person where they like present the trophy and they talk on the podium and all of that. So like, it was pretty cool. And with James Franklin's like speech of, they say you can overcome early losses. Well, that's what we've done. It's on you now, the committee, which I always thought was really funny wording. It's on you now, the committee. Just kind of made me laugh. But yeah, it was incredible. Then I went to the Rose Bowl that year as well. Heartbreaking. Still amazing, but heartbreaking. And that's probably my best memory post-college.
Yeah.
Alex, you got any good ones after graduating?
Yeah, I mean, well, mine was, I guess I would call it the best was the Rose Bowl, definitely. I mean, unfortunately we lost, but that was just like the greatest game ever. Even just as a football fan, that was an amazing game. And then watching that Saquon run right out of halftime when that like iconic run for like 70 yards that he scored on USC, the whole place was just going nuts. And then just that whole day was awesome. I mean, we called an Uber over to the stadium at like 5 a.m. and started tailgating super early. And then, we were all super ready to throughout the game. We're super ready to go out. Fourth quarter, we're up by whatever it was, 13, 2 scores.
Yep.
And like 6 minutes left, thinking we're going to win the game. And we were all like, the whole in the Penn State section, obviously, everybody was, ready to go out to the bars afterwards and just, go hard. And then, they scored and you're getting a little worried. They scored again. And you're like, all right, well, we at least have the ball left. There's a minute left. We're at least going to, go to overtime. Maybe Trace can get us into field position to score. Of course, he throws a pick, and then we end up losing on like a 50-yard field goal. So it was probably the most heartbreaking loss of my life. And then just, going from like super drunk and really ready to just keep celebrating for the rest of the night to, God, get me the fuck out of here. And then getting out of that parking lot was an absolute mess. So that was awful. I know we're supposed to be talking about best memories, but
no, this is, hey, listen, it's a pretty strong memory.
Up from like that morning up until like 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter was like the greatest day ever.
Yeah.
And obviously, it was just a great game, 52-49 or whatever it was. It was just
it was instant classic.
Yeah, and it was easily the best game that I've been to, just in terms of the environment. I mean, obviously the Michigan game was big, but that didn't have kind of the same implications that the Rose Bowl does.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, I was at that game. I was living in NorCal at the time. It was before I moved down to LA. So we were staying. It was me, my girlfriend at the time, and her friend. We were staying in like an Airbnb nearby. And I remember that iconic run that you're talking about. It was right after halftime. We were out, like we were going to the bathroom, like getting snacks. Literally walking up the tunnel. I get to the platform, and they just hiked the ball. Like I see him give it to Saquon. I'm like, oh wait, let's watch. And like people are like, come on, man, like get your seat. I'm like, one second. And then like it starts happening. I'm like, I knew something was gonna happen. Like I was so excited. It was, that was unreal. And then the heartbreak was pretty terrible. I remember just like as soon as they hit that field goal, I remember like sitting down in my chair and just kind of like being defeated. I remember my girlfriend actually looks at me, she's like, I get it now. Like I get why this is so important to you. Because like she hadn't been to the game, like sees me yelling at the TV all the time. She's like, okay, makes sense now. But yeah, that was a tough one, man. That was a tough one. Hopefully we'll be back soon to some prominent games.
Would have been nice if it was this year.
Oh man, dude, we should have been there this year.
That was one of the worst nights of my life, that Rose Bowl loss. So first I was in the bathroom during that Saquon run. I was like, it was like, because was it like third down or something?
Yeah, it was pretty close after halftime, and I don't.
It was like 14 minutes left in the third quarter. It was right after halftime.
And I was like, all right, nothing's about to happen right now. Let me just go to the bathroom. That's when everyone starts screaming. And then we lose like in just excruciating fashion. And I had just started doing stand-up, so I went to my second open mic ever.
Oh, geez.
Bombed so hard, just horrifically. And then walked all the way back to Penn Station in the rain. And just like near tears, like this fucking sucks, man. Shit ass night.
Oh man. All right. So now you're going up for your open mic, second one ever. Like, is this game actually weighing on you, or were you able to clear the head a little bit and be like, all right, let me focus, and then it just happened to be a bad set? Like, were they?
I mean, I don't know. I was also just bad at comedy then, so I'm sure that didn't help.
That's fair. All right, so we're talking about a lot of sad memories. Let's pivot. Let's go to some sort of happiness. I know you guys are probably a little on the spot for this one, so I don't expect you to have a full list. But Brad's Chase at Chase the Champ on Twitter, he asked us to preview the depth chart, which we'll get to in a minute, but also said your top 5 or top 10 favorite Penn State players of your lifetime. Do you guys think you have a decent idea of who your top 5 might be?
Are we limited only to football?
Yeah, for now. Okay. Listen, we can do wrestling another time. Okay, we're a football sub wrestling.
All right.
I actually started.
I was a Michigan fan until 2011, so cut me some slack.
You were a what fan? 2011?
A Michigan fan. I come from a Michigan family, so you didn't know that. And my grandmother taught at Michigan. My dad went to Michigan. My stepmom went to Michigan. Like, Michigan was just $50,000 a year out of state. It's like $33,000 tuition and then room and board. So I was just like, all right, that's just not happening. Like,
I'm more impressed by the conversion.
Yeah,
your conviction is all the stronger.
You're one of the bigger Penn State fans I know, which is why you're on this show right now. Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna reserve my judgment. I won't go there yet. But no, I actually started like mapping this out earlier, and I've said this on the podcast a couple of times before. Like my Penn State fandom starts in 2008, my freshman year. like growing up Long Island, there's not really like New York college football teams to root for unless you're like a big Syracuse fan or something. And I just didn't follow college football that much. So mine goes from '08 on. I trimmed it down to top 5, but my honorable mentions is another like 25 dudes. So it was really difficult. So I'll save mine for now. Any of you guys want to give it a shot? Your top 5?
Sure.
Go for it. Pat, lead us off, man.
I'm starting with a bit of an underdog. Number 1, Mike Mowdy.
Nice. Are you going 1 to 5?
Yeah, I'm going 1 to 5.
Okay, number 1, Mike Mowdy.
Mike Mowdy, guy was an absolute savage, nut job, great linebacker. And just like that press conference, him and Zordich out there, arms crossed, just saving the program.
Yep.
I will never not love Mike Mowdy. Number 2, I think I'm going to go Trace McSorley. I don't need to tell you why.
Yep.
It's tremendous.
Fair.
3, Saquon. I'm going to say. 4, Paul Posluszny.
Ooh, nice one.
And then 5's that's a tough one between probably Allen Robinson and Marcus Allen. I'm having a tough time deciding.
Both great picks. I like that. Okay, that's a solid 5. Alex, you got 5? It's off the cuff. We'll do a future show we can revisit, but
no particular order right now. But I think probably my first original favorite player. I grew up in Pennsylvania, so we grew up going to Penn State games every year my entire life. And my first favorite player was LeVar Arrington. I fucking loved him. Field goals I loved when he would block field goals. So I'll start with him. Let's see. I really liked this is gonna be a random name, but I really liked Aaron Maybin. I don't know if you guys remember him. He was a defensive
end. Oh yeah.
By the Bills. I loved him. I thought he was an amazing defensive end. Drafted super high. Next we'll go with Derek Williams, wide receiver. Was a monster back in the day. This is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but Austin Scott. I don't know if you guys remember the running back the only reason I liked him was he went to, when I was in 4th grade, he was the running back at my high school that I would have gone to before I moved, Parkland High School. And he was this super highly touted recruit. And he also played basketball, and he was like a counselor at the basketball camp I got to go to. So, and then he went to Penn State, and he was supposed to be right after Larry Johnson. And he was supposed to be really good right after Larry Johnson, and he ended up sucking. But I really liked him because I knew him, and it was one of the guys that I knew as a little kid.
Nice.
And how many did I give so far? 4?
I think that's 4.
And then I guess I'll go with Jesse James, just because he was in my basketball class at Penn State, and he was on my team when I played basketball. So I chilled with him every week.
Did you ever throw him an alley-oop?
Dude, he was the laziest basketball player in the world. He would try to be he could so easily every once in a while him and Anthony Zettel would come to class early, and they would put on a dunking clinic, and then but when we actually played in the games, he just would try to bring the ball up and pull up from 3, and then just lazily jog back on defense. He was the world.
I guess when you're a big time college football athlete, you don't.
Yeah, well, you don't want to hurt yourself. I mean, he had a professional career ahead of him that he doesn't want to hurt himself playing fucking IM basketball.
You watch your mouth.
5'0" white kids.
Brandon Beal, the IM superstar over here.
Yeah. So,
I like that list. I like that list. That's a good list. All right, Beal, what do you got for your top 5?
So I'm gonna throw some people in from when I was not a Penn State fan. Big Navarro Bowman guy, Tambali too. So those are probably my 4 and 5. I'm gonna have a tie for 3 with Adrian Amos and Marcus Allen. Love the energy.
Hated Adrian Amos.
I don't know why, but great player. Anyway, yeah, how do you hate Adrian Amos?
I thought that he frustrated the hell out of you as a player. Maybe it was as a cornerback you didn't like him.
You're thinking of Koa Farmer, Brandon's favorite player ever.
Yeah, he's number 1. Can you please say Koa as your number 1?
Do not bring up that name. You know, the reason that Koa frustrates me the most is because I backed him. I was so excited when we got him. He was a sub 4.4 guy. He put on the weight. I thought he was going to be so good, and he could not shed a block for his life on the outside. He would set the edge with his back to where and I'm just like, I can't tell. Is that, are you small? Are like your numbers a lie? Do you not know how to use your weight? And I was just so frustrated. And that's why I hate Cole Farmer the most. And per game, we would see at least 3 or 4 10-yard plus runs where his back is to the play. And I'm just like, oh my God.
We could legitimately give like a 30-minute segment on the frustrations of
Cole Farmer.
Love you, man.
He's like, oh.
Your top 5. So you got Tom Mahaly, Navarro Bowman, Adrian Amos. A lot of defense in there.
So for an A-Rob, true too. Great. I love a good receiver, you know, channel his inner me. So I really like that. And I was waiting for Alex to like pick that up. And then obviously number 1 Saquon, like hands down. Like it's just we haven't. I mean, NCAA hasn't seen someone like that. And even still, like, did you guys see the video of him and Miles Sanders doing the hills?
Yeah.
Like, and I was just watching Saquon. I was like, Jesus. Even in like a drill, you're just like full, like his body position into the drill, like he just gave so much more. And it was like, even I believe he was going, even though he wasn't. But
yeah,
so that's my 5.
There's been a couple videos. It's that one came out. There's the one of him. I think it was him, Miles, Marcus Allen, and Amani all working out. And it's like you can see they're all just kind of staying in shape in the offseason. And then Saquon just putting up like 500 and just squatting it easily. It's like, dude is otherworldly.
He's a monster.
Okay, I like that list. Yeah, mine is pretty similar, not shocking by any means. We're gonna go 5-1, build up some suspense here. Number 5, Alex actually mentioned him earlier. It's Anthony Zettel.
Okay.
I loved this guy. Number 1 for his on-field performance. He was an edge. He was a D tackle. He played all over the D line. It was just a monster. His junior year, he had 8 sacks, 3 interceptions, and a touchdown, which is incredible for a D lineman to have 3 interceptions. I thought that was amazing. But his videos were what got me. You remember the one where he tackled a tree in the offseason?
Yeah.
Yep.
That video. He's in a forest of Pennsylvania, and there's just a dead tree standing there. Just lays it out, takes it down. Never seen that kind of strength before. And then the other one, the one that almost ended Saquon Barkley's career when he kicked the water bottle. You guys remember that one? Oh my God!
He almost took Saquon's head off.
Yes,
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I will send you this video. There's probably a way to share my screen and do it right now, but this is our first live stream. I'm not gonna
Was that a roundhouse kick too?
Yes.
Like a spinning back kick?
Yes. He's in the locker room and he goes, ha, ha, and like gets up, spinning, kicks it. And this is a freshman Saquon. He's so tiny. It's hilarious. Kicks the bottle and it just whips. And Saquon goes right past him into a locker. And he stood there. Obviously, he's not going to end his career, but maybe a couple missing teeth or something. I don't know. Anthony Zettel was a monster, and I loved him. Number 4, Chris Godwin. I almost put Deshaun Hamilton here. I had to pick between the two. Kind of played together same time. I love them. I picked Godwin. I was at that Pinstripe Bowl for his breakout game. He had something like 7 catches, 140, 150 yards, and a touchdown. And now I am the number 1 leader of the fan club for Chris Godwin to keep number 12. Fuck Tom Brady.
It's already announced that Tom Brady is going to be number 12.
Listen, until I see it on the field, I will continue this fight. Okay. Number 3, Allen Robinson, easy. I feel like he was like the first receiver since that Derek Williams 08 like offense that like I really loved as like a prolific number 1. Like we had a bunch of other guys in between, but I felt like Allen Robinson was that first one in a while. Number 2, Saquon, easy, and number 1, it's Trace. I am the biggest Trace McSorley fan in the world. Saquon, obviously, I could put number 1. Listen, this is not the best players. This is your favorite. Trace is my number 1, easily.
What's next?
Honorable mentions here, though.
So I have to go yell at my neighbors.
Nice one. My first honorable mention was the entire 2008 offense. Derek Williams, Deion Butler, Derek Moy, Jordan Norwood, Evan Royster, Darryl Clark. That was just an incredible team. Loved them. I had Bowman on here. Had some specialists. Sam Ficken, Joey Julius, Blake Gillikin. Love those guys.
Joey Julius.
I had Amos on here. I had Jesse James on here, believe it or not. Kabinda is another one that I almost put on there. Grant Haley. You know who I'm surprised you didn't put on here, Brandon? Tommy Stevens.
He's my favorite Mississippi State player.
Oh, okay. Okay, there it is. There it is.
We would have won a natty this year if Tommy had been here.
That's true. That's true. All right, let's do a couple rapid fires here. My little brother is texting me. I think he's watching. He said, "I can't believe no one said Chaz Powell."
That's Powell.
Mike, shout out if you're watching.
Yeah, he had some great kick returns back in the day.
He had some great kick returns. He also almost got into a fight at our frat house one time, and it was hilarious. Chaz Powell, he's one of those guys that I wanted to be amazing. Maybe similar to your Koa Farmer. Like, I wanted him to be incredible. And he had some good kick returns, had a couple of good moments, but never quite made it. All right, we'll do some depth chart stuff in a minute, but let's go through some quick hitters here. Chris, Lions 26, is any good book or movie suggestions? Anything you guys are watching or reading during quarantine? Nice. Cool.
Say it again. What was the question again?
Any good book or movie suggestions to get through quarantine?
Well, not a movie suggestion, but watch Tiger King if you haven't.
Dude, is it actually good, or is it just people saying it's good?
I haven't. It's actually
It's so
super
wild.
captivating. I've only gotten through the
wild.
first 3 episodes. It's 7 episodes. Each are like an hour. I'm limiting myself to one today. I could sit down and watch it all right now in one day if I wanted to.
See, it seems like
It's
such
just so insane.
It's just the most ridiculous. Like, I didn't realize how ridiculous this stuff was.
Like,
And
people live like
all
that.
Stuff that like it's like all. It's just ridiculous. It's definitely one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since it's quarantine, I'll probably watch it, but I'm not happy about it.
You will be.
Okay.
You'll be like, wow, people really live like that. And then it's just like, yeah, it's the ultimate reality TV star.
Okay.
Is this guy. Like,
I feel like 7
insane.
hour long episodes. Like, they probably could have cut that down. Whatever. I'll give it a shot.
Nope. You'll see.
Jeez. Tony's not on here, but we'll do this at some point. Do you guys, Brandon, I know you do, Alex and Pat, do you guys watch All American, the football show?
No.
Okay.
But I got into QB1.
QB1's great. That's the one where they follow the high school kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my little brother loves that too. Shout out Mike Henkin if you're watching. All American, we'll give a quick preview here, no spoilers, is a scripted show about high school football. There's 2 seasons. It's on Netflix. I tweeted it out earlier today. It is, my little brother turned me on to it, season 1. I thought season 1 was so laughably bad, but I could not look away. Like the writing, the football aspects of it, the story of like they were just so over the top of like Tay Diggs as the coach. And he's like, all right, guys, we're going to run a 6 zebra 2 and they'll never expect it. And we're going to win the championship. I'm like, this doesn't seem real, man. But it's an entertaining story. The main guy is really, really good. And they just came out with season 2, and season 2 is fantastic. Still a little cheesy, but really, really good. Highly recommend it.
He's supposed to be in college or high school?
High school. So it's based in LA. So he's a kid from South Crenshaw living in the hood. Coach is over at Beverly Hills. There's a whole dynamic there. So without giving spoilers, maybe we'll do a deep dive on this, Brandon, me and Tony. Without spoilers, what's your overall opinion of the show, and hype it up a little bit for the folks?
It's a great show. It is cheesy, but it's funny you said that. I never watched it expecting a good football scene, good football language. Like, that wasn't to me the social aspect of it, and the way they show those and the way they build those. That's probably like my favorite part of the story. And some of the stuff I identify with, some of it I don't, but it's all like very real stuff. And I think that's why I like it. I think it's really cool the way that they approach and handle all of these different, scenarios that really, half of us don't see on a day-to-day basis. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously I give it shit for the football stuff. But like I said, I binged season 2 in like a day and a half. Like it's one of those that you just want to keep watching. It's a good storyline, good acting. Spencer James is my dude. Love Coop. Shout out Coop. And again, without giving anything away, Olivia Baker has my heart. Brandon, you can have whoever. Tony, I will fight you for Olivia Baker. She is wife material.
I You'd think they'd hire like one football consultant, like even just a guy who like coached high school football, to be like, yes, this is the name of a football play.
Yeah. Oh, also though, there's one dude in the show who's like 35 playing a high schooler, and like I know they do that for all the JJ, the white kid who wears the like white shirt. That dude is
Spiky hair.
Yeah, he's so old at that place. It's just really funny to me. All right, a couple others from Chris here. What is the best type of bread? Embrace debate. What's the best type of bread?
Type of bread. I love a good rye.
Wheat, baby.
Wheat. Oh, you're a health nut, sure.
You know this. You can tell he's been eating a lot of bread recently.
Hell yeah. I like a lot of bread. This is a safe space. I can talk about this. I think the bread aisle in like a grocery store is one of the best smells of all time. Like,
bread aisle's been like wiped all freaking month.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know if I have a great time. Like I love variations of bread. Like I love good English muffin or something like that. It's fantastic. Cinnamon raisin maybe. We'll come back to that one. I don't really know. PBR or Natty for undergrads? Is that a choice?
Natty.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Undergrads, Natty. But PBR is too classy for undergrads.
Yeah, they don't put a blue ribbon just on anything.
Yeah, they don't just put a blue ribbon on anything.
Did you guys drink anything other than Natty like your first couple of years in college?
Sometimes Bud Light.
Keystone every once in a while.
Yeah.
Not Bud Light.
Yeah.
Keystone was the only other one.
Keystone.
It's like if you ever like went to Hickeys,
some hams or haunts, whatever you
just
said.
have like random things on sale, like stuff that was about to expire.
Yeah.
And they would just push it. Those were
They
all.
also had, if you wanted to go real nasty with it, you go with Beast.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
definitely beef.
Until like senior year when you could afford a little bit, you're like, I'm gonna get Bud Light, so it's gonna step it up real quick.
Yeah.
Bud Light
To
Platinum.
help with my hangover, I'm going to drink Bud Light.
Yeah. And then Chris also says Shady Maple is the best smorgasbord in the world. Changed my mind.
I don't know what that is, so I won't.
Maple's it's a breakfast place near like where me and Brandon live.
Yeah, I was like, threw me off. I was like,
I have never had that. All right, a couple of quick football topics, then we'll end with maybe a quick depth chart preview. So we get into some tactics. First, NFL draft still scheduled to happen end of April. They're not going to have the live event, but what do you guys feel about that? Do you like it still happening as is, or do you think they should change it with everything that's going on? Alex,
no, they shouldn't. They should definitely not change it. I think it's so stupid that the only reason that the general managers want to change it is because they can't have their in-person scouting visits, which I get the ear is important and all, but there's no reason that you should not have the draft. That's just going to push everything back further anyways. So, get your scouting done by doing it everybody's at the same disadvantage. It's not like one team is advantage over the other. So get your scouting done over videotape and what's been done already, private workouts, whatever you need to do. But you can't move the draft back, because if you move the draft back to, say, August, then you can't bring these rookies in and have them come in. You can at least get them playbooks and get them kind of oriented slightly while you're in this limited time. You can't move the draft back. It just makes zero sense at all. So
that's fair. Pat, agree or disagree?
I'm totally with Alex on this one. As far as, you're right. Everyone's at the same disadvantage. And as much like fun as the draft is to be at live, it really isn't necessary, especially after the first round. Let's be honest. No one cares that much. You could do the whole thing just on as a TV show. I think camp is more important than the draft.
Yeah. Fair. Brandon, anything else?
They should have it. There's no reason not to have it. I think we should keep as much normal as we can right now. There's no reason to stop. I don't see why you would stop it. There's not enough tape on them to where I feel like even if you miss the in-person workouts, it's not really going to change that much of your. Yeah,
I agree. I think obviously they have to have it. Selfishly, I'm just excited for it personally. It does suck for some of the guys that didn't get to have their pro days. Obviously, some did, some didn't. But I think we're all pretty aligned on that one, and that'll be fun. We'll have some shit to talk about in a month. Leah Still, Devin Still's daughter, I don't know if you guys saw this, officially cancer-free, hit the 5-year mark. Leah Strong, shout out. I love seeing that. I love, like, he had, not a great NFL career by any means, but, life happened and he's gone so hard in that direction of not only taking care of his family and taking care of his daughter, but like making that his life's mission. He does a lot of fundraising, a lot of stuff for childhood cancer, which is just awesome. I actually have a Devin Still Bengals jersey, believe it or not. When he was on the Bengals, they did something like they were selling his jerseys at like a discount, and like all of the proceeds were going to some pediatric cancer fund. So I don't think I've ever wore it. I think the tag is still on it, but I have one, so that's pretty cool. NCAA, Trevor Lawrence, GoFundMe. Did you guys see this story?
Yeah.
Thoughts, opinions?
Well, I mean, it's the NCAA originally fucking it up, being the worst organization in the world, and then realizing that is the absolute worst PR move ever, and this time corrects itself. I mean, it's
that's not what happened.
Same exact thing that the Sixers did with cutting their they cut the play of their employees, and then once everybody freaked out, they realized this was a terrible PR move, and they changed their mind.
Yeah. So if you didn't see what happened, Trevor Lawrence and his girlfriend. If you didn't see what happened, Trevor Lawrence, quarterback of Clemson, you might have heard of him. Him and his girlfriend started a GoFundMe to raise money for people affected by COVID-19. Very quickly, it was shut down, and it came out that the NCAA shut it down because it goes against NCAA policy that you can't raise money in a crowdfunding thing using your name and likeness. So everyone in the world bashed the NCAA, said that, you're ridiculous, this is absurd. They then came out quickly and said, hey, we didn't tell them to shut it down. Clemson said, okay, we actually told them to shut it down because we knew the NCAA would come down on us. So I think for me, it's like, I don't care if the NCAA didn't actually do it. The fact that the team was so scared of the NCAA coming and giving them shit for it just shows like the world that they live in and the structure that the NCAA has built as being the worst institution of all time. So eventually I think they worked with them to like make an exception and somehow like got it back up. But yeah, it's just the NCAA being absurd.
Worst institution of all time. That's a strong
I don't
words.
disagree.
It's me. All right. Stretch.
There's a party in Germany that would like to say
I was going to say.
Okay.
I thought the Gestapo was bad.
Fair. All right. You know what I mean? All right. In the sports world, maybe. They've also decided, do you see this? The NCAA has also decided, or at least they're talking about, putting on hold, working on figuring out how kids can make money off their name and likeness. What else?
Yeah, very convenient for them.
What else are you doing? And they've also put on hold, or at least talking about putting on hold, figuring out transfer rules. They were going to try to figure out, how to allow kids to transfer without the sitting out and the waivers and all that. Now we're going to put that on hold. What else could the NCAA be doing right now other than figuring out the shit that they should be figuring out?
Losing a lot of money.
Sure.
Well, actually, one thing they really need to figure out is eligibility for winter athletes, I think.
Yeah.
Because I understand these guys played 90% of their season, but they lost the most important part of the season due to the most unprecedented situation in college sports that I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's a really good point. What do you guys think about that? So for spring sport athletes, winter sport athletes, basketball, wrestling, hockey, baseball, lacrosse, all of these things.
Well, spring, they're getting their eligibility back because they lost the whole season.
Okay.
But the winter, it looks like they're not going to.
Really? Interesting. All right, Brandon or Alex, any strong opinions on this? So a winter sport athlete, a basketball player, a hockey player, wrestling, someone who didn't get to go through their championship phase, should they get an extra year of eligibility? Hard-hitting questions on this show, man.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I feel like if I say no, I'm a bad guy. It's like they deserve a chance, but I think with perspective to everything else, I think that there's going to be a lot of things that are chopped up to just losses right now.
Yeah, and you're gonna take spots from incoming freshmen and whatnot, and it's just you got the whole season still. I mean, it sucks that you didn't get the playoffs.
Yeah,
but like you're giving them essentially a full new season, and then there's no scenario where you can like make them wait until like the playoffs and then they're just eligible for the playoffs. So unfortunately it sucks, but I don't think you can really do anything.
Yeah, agreed. It's a scholarship thing. If it had happened, a few months ago, mid-season, I think it's a different conversation. But since you got through most of the season, I agree there. Pat, did you have anything else?
I don't know. I feel like, first of all, I understand that they got the full season, but what's the point of the season if you don't get the postseason? That's literally the whole reason you have the season. Is
Yeah.
these guys only compete in the season to get to the postseason.
That's not true.
There's got to be
So once these teams, but then what are you saying then? Then once these teams are eliminated from the playoffs, then they should just stop playing. That nothing else matters at this point.
I mean, isn't that what happens after you get eliminated from the playoffs? Don't you stop playing?
So like, what about Northwestern? Like they were eliminated from the NCAA tournament like weeks ago. Do you think the players should have just gave up at that point because the season was over?
Well, technically, they can go on a run in the Big Ten tournament, win the tournament, and make it into the NCAA.
Yeah, but I don't think.
Like, is it realistic? No, but it can happen.
Yeah, I know, but I know. I'm not taking that point away from you. But okay, say it was college football, and a team was 2-7. Like, do you just quit the last 3 games because there's no postseason for you?
I think most teams probably do. Like, I think a lot of teams, I mean, maybe not publicly, but a lot of kids probably start playing with less passion or giving up. I think for teams that are like a Penn State basketball, who's out on the brink of March Madness for the first time forever, or like some of these wrestlers who are competing for individual championships that would put them in history books. Like, that is a really different story. That sucks. I mean, there's what, Pat, some of our wrestlers that could be 3-time NCAA champions.
Yeah, you got a guy like that.
I agree. It's terrible and it sucks. But to say that you're the only reason that you play the regular season is for the playoffs, I think that's a little bit of a stretch. I mean, you play the regular season because you enjoy playing. And you play college. These kids in college, they're not getting money. I mean, yeah, they get scholarships, but they're playing and they're committing all the time because they enjoy it. It's not just to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit of both.
It sucks. It sucks that they can't go to the playoffs. Realistically, I don't really see what you can do about it.
I also it
sucks
maybe
we sound like the bad guys, but
I'm sure logistically a little would be a huge hurdle. But what about even let's say it's safe to participate in sports like 2 months from now. Why not have these championships in August? Like, what else are these kids? I mean, I get if like the kids in basketball who like go to the NBA, they won't be able to play. But like most of these athletes have nothing else they're gonna do. Like
they have their lives. They have to move forward with their lives. It's like the same thing as anybody that graduates from high school.
You really think they wouldn't like train to compete in the NCAA tournament just because they have an internship or something?
But it's not an internship; it's a job. Once you're out of college, you have a job. You have to move on with your life. Like, I'm not worried about the NBA kids because, in the tournament, at most there's 60 kids that have the NBA that in their future and that's not even because so like 60 kids, that's the most that you're gonna have that. So like the NBA is not the issue. It's the issue that, these kids aren't in school. You can't have them training and whatnot like together after the season's over. Like there's rules against that. So. And obviously you can bend stuff, but then, after school, you have to graduate and move on with your life. You can't just like pick up your life and be like, hey, boss, I need to go away for 3 weeks to play in this basketball tournament.
My guess is most of those athletes would want to participate.
I would love to participate. I would love to take 3 weeks off of work and play basketball. That would be awesome. Anyone would love to. It's not realistic.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the logistics of it all too. Like,
it's a logistical. Obviously, in an ideal world, I would love more than, especially for teams like Rutgers and Penn State that never make the fucking tournament and then never have and probably won't next year. Then it really.
Hey,
this is a positive circle, okay? Positivity. If they had like paused everything and kind of kept things in place and were ready to re-engage like as soon as this shit was over, I think that's one story. But when they started saying like everything's canceled, like that kind of changes the whole game. And I think just like the uncertainty, like no one knows when this is going to be over, so it's really hard to like spin that back up in the mid of like a week, Last one I had here. Did you guys see the Penn State hype video that Penn State football put out on Twitter? Alex, you don't have a Twitter, get on it. It's pretty damn good. If anyone's listening or watching, you haven't seen this, I've applauded the LSU media team over and over again for all the work that they've done in their video hype department. It's been incredible. Penn State put out a pretty good one, man. It covers like the whole Franklin era. There's videos from like Marcus Allen and Kabinda in there. There's Saquon. There's, the new guys. It's pretty exciting. So if you're trying to get through these tough times without football, check it out. It's a lot of fun. All right. You guys want to do a little depth chart stuff or anything else you want to talk about Penn State wise?
Do some depth chart.
Ready for the depth chart.
Up with depth chart. We got 2 people watching us on YouTube right now. This is a live production. There are 2 people watching. One of them might be
one of them, James Franklin.
I hope it's Jimmy Frank. What up? All right, so depth chart. Major changes lately. Mac Hippenhammer, one of the all-time names that has come through the program recently. It's a cool sounding name, is no longer on the roster. He is now focusing primarily on baseball. Been a two-sport athlete. And then we saw Trent Gordon switch from corner to safety. But other than that, no major changes.
What? Forget
What?
about the biggest one. Our
What?
kicker. He's not a quarterback.
What happened?
The kicker from last year, the walk-on kicker, he's a cornerback now.
Who?
Apparently, the kid runs his shuttle's like a 419 or something. Apparently he's a sick athlete.
I didn't see this.
Let me get his name.
Penn State kicker. He's a corner now?
Yeah, it's and I'm gonna butcher his name when I pronounce it, so I apologize if he sees this. Sebastian Costantini.
Damn, I didn't even know he was on the team. All right, so
Yeah, he was a preferred walk-on, and now he's a cornerback. And I was reading the article, and he's got some good numbers. He's an athlete.
okay. Shout out to
Out there.
turned corner. I've never heard that. All right, so if we look at the offense, a lot of things are pretty set. Quarterback Clifford. Anyone think Clifford is not the starter going into next year? I see some hesitation there, Brandon.
I need Cliff to start making those throws. I need Cliff to start making the throws, just the easy throws. If Cliff hits those deep balls this year, who knows? But I need Cliff to start making those throws.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping his second year he comes in. Like, I'm thinking about, like, I don't know if you guys have this experience at work, but for me, like, my first year at work was all hectic. For my second year at work, I'm just flowing into things. I'm able to do more, take more on, be more consistent. So I'm hoping that that's what happens. It's just kind of like he's not thinking he's flying.
Yeah,
I think with Shiraka in the room too, you'll see an uptick in his quarterback play.
I hope so, man.
You look at what he did with what's his name,
Tanner
over in
Morgan.
Minnesota. Tanner Morgan. Yeah, and that was a guy who nobody was talking about. Had a tremendous year last season.
It's true.
It's a completely different type of offense now. You've got to get the deep ball down.
Yeah.
It's all about running it, and then hitting the deep ball.
Yep. So behind Clifford, you got Levis, Roberson, Johnson Jr., and
Johnson Jr., baby.
Michael Jr., love him, and Micah Bowen. So, I don't think we should see any surprises there. Running back, we talked about this on our last episode, but Ricky Slade, obviously in the transfer portal. We haven't heard anything. He's kind of quiet on social media as far as like not following anyone else from the schools, hasn't liked anything. I've done my research to find out. Well, the running backs right now, you got Journey Brown, Noah Kane, Devin Ford, Keziah Holmes, and Kevon Lee. Any bold claims on what that depth chart looks like other than Journey at the top, followed by Noah and Devin?
Noah,
those two guys kind of cemented the spot.
Yeah, Noah bulking up to 223 is a terrifying thought for everyone involved.
23. I mean, he was a
223.
He was a bowling ball last year, just running.
He's like 203. Yeah,
and he just put on 20 pounds of muscle.
That's a scary thought.
I'm very excited for this tandem of Journey Brown and Noah Kane with Devin Ford as like, your third change of pace guy, need a breather. Because he's really good too. I mean, you've seen some of those runs that he's broken. And then we have these two kids coming in, Keziah Holmes and Kevon Lee, both 4-stars out of Florida. Keziah Holmes is wearing number 26 as a running back. First offensive player to wear it since Saquon. Makes me sad a little bit on the inside, but I also love, like, he's like, yeah, I'm going to wear it, I'm going to rock it, I'm going to crush. Like, that's kind of cool. Do you think either one of those, the true freshmen, do you think they see any significant playing time if Journey, Noah, and Devin are healthy?
They'll get there'll be like a game here or there, but
yeah, I mean, I think the plan is the plan. I mean, likely
it's hard to get more than two guys significant carries.
And we saw that last year, right? So I think with Keziah and Kevon, if everyone's healthy, Kevon, I don't know how I'm saying that. I'm sorry, bro. I'll learn it. I think you try to redshirt them, let them get their 4 games where they can still keep their red shirt, but then you run with your 3-headed monster and, you can continue to build that pipeline. Let's move to wide receiver is where it gets really, really interesting. So on the depth chart or the roster at least, here's what I have so far of like scholarship guys: Cam Sullivan-Brown, Jahan Dotson, Daniel George, John Dunmore, T.J. Jones, and then the 5 incoming freshmen: Keandre Lambert, Jaden Dotton, Parker Washington, Malik Mega, and Norval Black.
Justin Shorter's coming back. Heard it here first.
Is that so? You got the inside scoop with Gator Nation?
Yeah. All just the front.
Alex, start us off. What do you see the wide receiver core looking like to start this year?
Hold up 1 second.
Unbelievable. This is live radio. He's taking a phone call. Brandon, like I said, start us off. What do you think for the receiving core? Obviously, Jahan Dotson is the starter. Outside of that, I think everything's fair game. What do you see in our starting 3?
Well, they're going to drop him in the slot. They need to. That's where he can create the most separation, and I think he needs to be in a slot. You said Dunmore. Who was the other guy that came in with Dunmore? He was the one. Dunmore wasn't getting the praise in practice this year. It was the other guy who came in with them.
T.J. Jones?
I think you said T.J. Jones. He was getting the praise from what I was hearing. So I assume he's going to step up from what I was reading. And then for that 3rd spot, I mean, give it to Cam Sullivan-Brown. I mean,
yeah, it's got to be Cam Sullivan-Brown.
Yeah. And
wait, who did you say the first 2 were? Dotson and George?
Yeah. No, he's
George. George.
You forgot about
George.
I was going to say, I think it's pretty easy. I think it's Dotson, George, and Sullivan-Brown. I think it's those 3 at the top 3.
Well, George and Sullivan-Brown playing the same side of the ball.
I know they play the same position, but I think they're going to keep both of them on the outside and then Dotson in the slot.
Yeah.
I'm not totally sold on George.
He was
a scapegoat last year for pretty bad reasons. I don't know. I feel like people just did not like Danny George, and me had a couple clutch bad drops, but he was a freshman last year.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So was Shorter.
What do you say? I would love to have Shorter. I just give you shit because you thought that Shorter was coming. I think Shorter would be the best receiver on our team this year if he was still there.
I do think that there's some I think seeing him leave and then the other guy we lost last year, I think there's a cultural fit issue in our locker room.
When you say the other guy we lost, is that Juwan Johnson, or are you just forgetting someone?
No, forgetting someone's name. He went to Cal. D-back.
Oh, yeah.
They got bullied?
Yeah.
Isaiah Humphries.
I think they've said that about Shorter too, and I think that it might be a little bit more.
That Micah Parsons teabagged him?
Oh my God.
Whoa.
We're not going.
Relax. All right? Relax.
I'm not saying it happened because I know it didn't happen. I'm saying, is that what they said? Are they saying that like people like bullied Justin Shorter?
Not bullied. I think the locker room is full with a very strong type A personalities, and when you have people who are
player wise or coaches,
but player wise, and I think when you have people who are type A personality, but they project themselves in a type B way, those people tend to get walked on. And that's kind of, after reading the Humphries like transcripts and removing the lawyer talk from it, it kind of sounds like there may have been some, I would say almost unintentional, they just didn't mesh. There's 2 people who were not communicating very well, and people are saying Shorter is a little bit like that too, where he's a little bit on the softer spoken side.
Yeah, let's get a quick public service announcement disclaimer from the folks here at No Names All Game. We do not support or corroborate the claims made here about teabagging in locker rooms by Alex Ferraro. He is not
Yeah, right.
No Names All Game. He is an outside consultant that we have brought on.
No, that was a joke.
Talking with Pat, what do you got? Because I'm kind of with you. Like Daniel George, I think we haven't seen enough of him yet. I'm kind of hoping he steps up into that bigger role.
Yeah, I just don't think we've seen enough of him.
Cam Sullivan-Brown, has he been hurt?
I can agree with that.
Cam Sullivan-Brown is going into his 4th year. He's got junior eligibility. He's going into his 4th year.
I thought he was a redshirt freshman last year.
No, he's a redshirt sophomore. He's a redshirt
last
junior.
Year he was?
Are you sure?
Yeah, he's a redshirt sophomore. He
That's
should be a
what I thought.
redshirt junior coming up.
Oh.
This year he should be a redshirt junior. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's in his senior year with junior eligibility. So redshirt.
Yeah, he's a redshirt junior. Right.
But he's 6 foot 193. We've seen him in
hurt
action. He was hurt, right?
He was hurt, so he's actually getting a lot of time. I think he would have started last year.
That's what I'm saying. I think
had he not gotten hurt. He did really well at the beginning of the season, finding holes. finding, the quarterback throwing lane. Like he did a good job. It just, he was hurt. He didn't see the field again. And based on him not being pushed off the team this year, clearly he was hurt.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Franklin's shy about, hey man, listen.
Right.
We get a scholarship count.
No, I mean, I think for the first time in a while, I think that the receiving group is really the biggest question mark on the offense.
Absolutely.
Quarterback solidified, even if Brandon.
There's no sure thing coming back for the first time.
Their tight ends set. The offensive line looks better than it's been in years, and then the running backs. Maybe we don't have the stud that we did with Sanders and Barkley the past 5 years, but it's solidified in the sense that it's going to be.
We didn't have him last year either, and that running back room was damn good.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But it's more solidified a lot this year than it was last year.
Journey Brown, not a stud. Watch your mouth, dude.
He's not Saquon stud though.
Watch your mouth.
That's true. Hey, if he can repeat that Memphis game, if he can repeat that Memphis game, he's more than a stud.
Absolutely.
He averaged almost 6 yards a carry last year. Like he just didn't have the carries.
Okay, yeah, but so did there's a lot of instances of running backs that have averaged high yards per carries, even in the NFL, that once they get the volume, it doesn't translate. And I'm not saying that that's the case with Journey Brown, but I would not go as far as calling Journey Brown a stud yet.
That's no lie.
I am leaning closer to stud.
Get the fuck out of here.
Let's wrap up wide receivers. Pat, any of the young guys, so not Cam Sullivan, Brown, Dotson, or George, anyone you're keeping an eye on for this year?
Norval Black, he's the JUCO one, right?
Correct.
I like him. And then who was the kid from Texas?
Parker Washington.
I like him too. I like
too.
both of them.
Yeah, I think Parker's a guy who can come in and make some noise right away. Keandre
He
Lambert
put up big numbers in Texas high school football. I think in the biggest division of Texas high school football too, which is, they take it pretty seriously down there.
Yeah, definitely.
His spark score was ridiculous too. His attribute scores, he did really well. He's really quick. He's a slot guy. He's really quick.
Yeah, I would love to see him.
Deshaun Hamilton.
I would love to see Parker Washington come in and immediately be Jahan's backup and get some meaningful reps. I think a guy like Keandre Lambert, he's our highest rated guy, highly touted wide receiver. I would love to see him come in and get some playing time right away, because I think especially too, as we look at taking that next step to becoming that elite team, you have to get production out of your top young guys. We shouldn't be relying on Cam Sullivan, Brown, Jahan Dotson, and Dan George just because they're the oldest wide receivers on the team.
He's not. Danny George is a sophomore. He's not. I mean, that's not
in his third year. He is a
redshirt sophomore though. He's a redshirt sophomore.
Sure, but those are our three oldest wide receivers, scholarship wide receivers on the team. It's
not to mention in that group, he's seen among the most significant
I didn't say old as a bad thing. I'm saying they're the longest tenured on the team. So it's to me, I want to see some of these true freshmen, redshirt freshmen. I would love to see John Dunmore come out and be a stud. He was a 4-star recruit out of Florida. I would love to see these younger guys come in and make waves right away, like we hoped to see with Justin Shorter. When you get talented kids in the room, I want to see the impact early. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, again, coaches.
True.
New offensive coordinator, new quarterbacks coach. I think it's all going to come together.
I hope so, man. Tight end, Pat Fryermuth, best tight end in the nation, coming back. Obviously easy there. Any thoughts on the backups? So the roster, you look at Zach Kuntz, Brenton Strange, and then 2 incoming freshmen in Tyler Warren and Theo Johnson, who's the crown jewel of this last class, high 4-star, low 5-star kid coming out of Canada. Who do you guys see backing up Pat or making the most impact this year? Pat, let's start with Pat.
I think Theo Johnson has a chance to impact early. Kuntz is a solid player. I don't think he's he's not unimpeachable from his spot as the backup though.
Yeah.
Theo Johnson he was the best tight end recruit in the nation. If we only count the country he's from.
Yes, he is the best tight end recruit in Canada.
I see him coming in and having a chance to. It's going to be hard to have much of an impact behind Pat Fryermuth, but as much as you can with a guy like that already on the field.
Yeah, agreed. Brandon, any thoughts on the tight end room?
I'm in the same boat there. I think any of those guys could step up, but I'm just going to go seniority order it right now, and that's probably what's going to play out. I think there's a weight issue not a weight issue, but I think the tight ends that we've had coming in, think they're a little small. So and I don't know what. Actually, I'm tempted to see Zach Kuntz. What was his? Did his numbers change at all? No, he's still at 254 at 6'7". So I don't know. We'll see. He's a little light, but I'm thinking for 2 down will be for if we go two tight end set, it'll be Strange and Frymouth.
Yeah, Alex.
I don't feel like there's much to add on tight ends.
Agreed. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, shout out Tyler Bowen. He's done a pretty great job in that tight end room. Theo Johnson coming in as a freshman at 6'6", 249. Frymouth is 6'5", 259. Like, it's kind of crazy, man. So we'll see it there. O-line, we touched on earlier. I think it's pretty set. So we should see Fries and Walker as your tackles. Miranda and Thorpe. I know we'll get to Caden Wallace in a minute. Starters from last year, as I should say.
I'm looking for big things out of Rasheed Walker.
Back. Fries and Rasheed Walker. You've got Miranda and Thorpe, and then Mennett in the middle. That was your starting 5 at the end of last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Gonzalez and
there was rotating. Des Holmes got in there. Caden Wallace got in there at tackle. What's your ideal setup here, Brandon, for O-line going into this year?
So there were some good reports coming out about Fries. He has issues with speed rush, and he's had issues with the speed rush since he was a freshman, which, by the way, he was thrown in there hot. So, but he has issues with the speed rush. He can't get his feet around. That's been the case just for the last 2 seasons. I would love to see him in there. If not, is Caden Wallace a guard or a tackle?
He's played tackle.
He's a tackle. So I would love to see someone more athletic if he keeps getting beat, because the D ends in the Big Ten are not going to get any slower. I mean, and I don't know. I want to give him a chance.
There's no Chase Young or AJ Espin. The D ends are not going to be as good this year in the Big Ten as they were last year.
Ohio State might have something to say about
the best they've ever been.
Yeah,
that's from Iowa. Chase Young.
Harrison. He's coming up. We missed out on him, and he was playing as a freshman last year on that D line. So don't sleep on that kid. Do not sleep on that kid.
Okay, so Caden Wallace, you want to see him get some reps there. Anything else? Any other glaring issues at O-line that you have a strong gripe on, Brandon?
No, not right now. Obviously,
I'm just kidding, man. I was just cutting you off just to be a dick.
Oh, no, I don't have any. I'm actually happy with our O-line. Even if Fries still has problems with the speed rush, I'm still very happy with our O-line and the way it plays. That's me nitpicking. I think the only glaring hole in our O-line.
Yeah, Alex, any thoughts on it?
No, I mean, I think our offensive line is actually, for the first time in a long time, going to be one of our bright spots. I think that the biggest, when it comes to offensive line, I think really the 2 biggest attributes that you can have are continuity and experience in college in particular. And I think that, what we're going to be starting, everybody's going to have at least 3 years of experience. I mean, maybe not experience, but everyone's going to be at least, a redshirt sophomore, or junior, senior that's going to be on our starting offensive line, unless you get Caden Wallace starting, which I don't think you're going to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a really good year for our offensive line.
Yeah, I feel like we say that every year. I really hope this one is.
I feel like every year we come in and say that our offensive line is freaking atrocious.
Last year at the beginning of the season,
last year we said it was going to be good, but it
was good. O-line was good last year.
It was inconsistent.
A lot better.
Yeah, I mean,
it was better, but it was better than it was during the Saquon years.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what I guess.
That's true.
Yeah,
definitely.
But yeah, in the last, since we graduated college in the last 5 years, this should be the best offensive line we've had.
True. Pat, any thoughts on individuals?
Yeah, I'm with Brandon in terms of I think if someone gets usurped as a starter, I'm kind of hoping it's Will Fries.
Too slurped, as Michael Scott likes to say.
But I'm looking for big things out of Rasheed Walker and CJ Thorpe are my 2 guys that I'm really hoping for.
Yeah, I agree. I think having that experience, having the depth. I mean, you got Anthony Wiggin, who's a JUCO transfer. You've got Des Holmes, third, guy rotating in there. I think there's a lot to be excited about, and they brought in, I think, 5 more O linemen in this freshman class. So hopefully with Troutline on and Owen kind of having his hand in that a little bit too, we'll see some good things. So yeah, that's the offense. Wide receivers is the really only question mark I've got. All right, you guys want to do defense or you got somewhere to be? I am quarantined, so I have nowhere to be. You guys feeling want to run
Give me
through?
the linebackers. Give me the linebackers.
All right, let's start with linebackers. So
Wait, why are we starting with linebackers? No, you got to start with defensive line.
all right, fine. He was excited.
Go in order.
All right, defensive end. Starting in defensive end, obviously we lose Yetur Gross-Matos, one of my favorite players of all time. I didn't include him in the list before because it still feels like he's a current player. But D end, you look at our roster. We've got Shaka Toney, Shane Simmons, Jason Owe, Nick Tarburton, Adisa Isaac, Smith Vilbert, and then 4 freshmen coming in. Who wants to start on the D ends?
Got it.
I'm hoping we see Shaka and Jason Owe just plowing through people.
Yeah, that's definitely a possible starting. Shaka's a starter. We know that. Brandon, who's starting opposite from him for you?
I'm gonna have to. If it were today, with what I know right now, Adisa Isaac. I don't think Owe can play the run. And I think that muscle memory of that breakdown and lateral movement is really hard.
My bad.
I don't know if he has it. So, but I love the ceiling of Owe. Like, love the ceiling, just what he can do, what he could be able to do. It's just he terrifies me against the run, and teams run right at him when he's in the game because of that reason. He has a hard time staying flat and not getting upfield because he is so fast and he's so used to being, and so today, Isaac, but obviously there's an entire summer of camp, knock on wood. So
I think that's fair.
That's a great point.
Alex, since we started in the right order, what would you like to say about the D end?
Yeah, I mean, it's big for us that Shaka Toney's coming back. That's good. I'd love to see Shane Simmons get in there. I think that Tony, Owe is the sexy name, and same with Tony. But I think Shane Simmons played really well last year, and I think that the best defensive lines have 3 to 4 good edge rushers that can come in. You're not going to just rely on 1 or 2 edge rushers. So I really think that Shane Simmons needs to step up this year, and I think those 3 are going to be the 3 that are creating pressure. Because if you look at our defensive tackles, I mean, Mustapher and Shelton are not guys that are going to get after the quarterbacks. They're good rush block, run defenders, but they're not guys that are going to get after the quarterback super well.
And instantly questioning that.
Why do you say? Well, look, how many sacks did they have?
Mustapher?
What?
Okay, Shelton, no, but Mustapher, you don't think he's going to get after the quarterback?
Last year.
He had like 2 sacks, didn't he?
Last year, Shelton, Mustapher, and Hanson, the 3 of them combined for 2.5 sacks.
But how many did Mustapher have?
At most 2.5.
He wasn't a starter. I mean, what do you want from him?
Yeah, he wasn't a starter, but he still got he didn't play as much as Shelton. But all I'm saying is 2.5 sacks between the 3 of them combined. They're not necessarily guys. They're bigger guys that are going to clog up the lane more than they are get after the quarterback. They're not going to get after the quarterback as much as some of our defensive tackles like a Zettel has in the past or something like that.
All right, we are
really
pivoting into D tackle, so let's just go there.
But that's all kind of goes together.
Wait, I was going to say Shane Simmons dropped weight. He dropped weight, so he dropped to 244, so he could be on your path to lean and mean.
Yeah. I honestly, I love Shane Simmons. Like, he was one of my favorite recruits when he was coming up. I would love to see him succeed. I think Shaka Toney has just gotten so good over the last couple of years. I think he's going to be a stud. I agree. I think Owe is super exciting, super sexy. I don't know if he's fully complete, but I think, if Simmons doesn't take that role, Owe and Isaac together is really, really exciting because look at Adisa Isaac. He's a true sophomore, 6'4".
He put on some weight.
56.
He put on some weight.
That's a big dude. Owe is a full year ahead of him, and they're identical weights. Like, he's a big dude. He's a Yetur kind of guy, and they speak so highly of him. Like, Shaka has said, like, hey, this kid's gonna be a first-round pick. Keep your eye on him.
I'm pretty sure Isaac came in at 220.
That's crazy. He put on 30.
I'm like fairly certain. I'm gonna look that up though.
Huh. And then there's some true freshmen. Zariah Fisher. I don't know if they're going to keep him as a D end or put him as a linebacker. He's really exciting. But let's move into D tackles because I think that's interesting. It is starting to rain. So if you hear that, that's what it is. D tackles on the roster coming back. And again, I just have this in like order of seniority. This is not my depth chart. We'll get into that when you guys give your opinions. We got Antonio Shelton, Fred Hansard, Damian Barber, PJ Mustipher, Aeneas Hawkins, Judge Culpepper, Joseph Apaya Darkwa, Hakeem Beeman, great name, Devon Ellies, and then 3 freshmen coming in. So obviously, like Alex mentioned, your guys who have had impact are Shelton, Hansard, and Mustipher. What do you expect out of those guys, and do you see anyone else mixing into the rotation? Pat, kick it off.
I think they're going to be the core 3. And like I like the kind of identity of the big guys who clog holes and help with the running game. I think we need that. I think that has been probably until last season has not been the specialty of our defensive line.
Yeah, I mean, if you think back to the old days and old days meaning like within the last 10 years, the Austin Johnsons, the Daquan Joneses of the world, those guys that are playing at a high level in the NFL now, that's what they were. Like, part of the reason Anthony Zettel was so good is because Austin Johnson was there eating up space.
But those weren't big. Those weren't huge. Even Austin Johnson, neither of those guys were above 300 pounds.
Weren't they?
Johnson was.
Not 300
Austin
pounds.
Johnson was like 320. Austin Johnson was like
Was he?
320.
He was
I
a
didn't
pretty
realize
sure.
that. Well, Zettel was not. Zettel was like 290.
No, but that's what I'm
No.
saying. I think Austin Johnson clogging up the space made it a lot easier for Zettel.
Well, that's why that's the only thing. I mean, I think I wouldn't hate to see a little bit of Damian Barber because he's a little bit smaller of a defensive tackle, and I think he's going to be the guy in passing situations that comes in because Hansard and Mustipher and Shelton. I would like to see Hansard more than I would like to see Shelton, to be honest. Shelton's got the seniority, but I think that Hansard and Mustipher are the 2 better players.
I liked Hansard last season. I thought he showed.
And then,
Wait, Alex,
yeah,
why
I
do you
agree.
why do you want a DN that gets out of the quarterback so bad?
I'm talking about obvious. I'm talking about on obvious passing downs. I
We
don't.
can bump down. We
Damian
can bump
Barber.
down Simmons. We can throw in Isaac at 256. We can throw in a decent Isaac in there. We can throw in
I'm
Owe
not
down
saying-
a tackle.
I don't think that Damian Barber should get much play. I agree that the main 3. I mean, it's going to be Mustipher, Shelton, and Hansard, and that should 100% be the main 3. But I would love to see something out of Damian Barber and see if he can get some pressure at the quarterback from the inside. On more obvious passing downs.
I think that killed us so bad when we did that. When we had the Zettles in there and the Windsors. No offense, but I feel like
That killed us.
they killed us. Because what happens is you have a split second to determine, are you going to pass rush or are you going to are you going to eat? You have to eat the blocks in front of you. Our linebackers used to get killed, and we had small linebackers. So I don't want our
I'm talking
linebackers
about
getting,
on obvious passing
Yeah,
downs.
like a 3rd and 15.
and then I'm saying, it didn't throw in a D end. I mean, if it's that, throw in a D end.
No, because rushing the passer from the inside is different than rushing the passer from the outside. I'm not
Teach them.
what.
If you remember last year they experimented with what was it? It was Shaka
Mount
on
Rushmore.
the outside or Mount Rushmore. Shaka on the
Yeah.
outside. They moved Yetur inside, Micah, and Jason Way on the front line.
Yeah,
Like I think
we got that.
I think they can get creative with it.
God,
Antonio Shelton, man, he's a guy like I don't think I've given him a lot of credit in the past, but like he continually gets regarded as like a leader in the locker room, the team.
yeah, he's gotten a lot. To his credit, he came in as a relatively lowly recruited player, and he's gotten a lot better.
Yeah,
but-
so I think he's a guy that
I think that Mustipher and Hansard have the potential to be the better pair.
I agree with
And
that.
Ely.
I think we even made the joke last year, like when Shelton got suspended for that game for like spitting on the dude. Pat and I on the podcast, we were like, we're not going to miss him. Like, we love you, man, but we're not going to miss you. But I think he's like one of those guys that Franklin like loves, respects. He's worked his ass off. Like, it's going to be hard to see him lose playing time. And I'm not saying he should. I don't think he should. But like, I think you're going to see a lot of Shelton with Hansard, Mustipher as the next 2. And then the younger guys, man, it's tough. There's so many D tackles. Like I think I would love to see Aeneas Hawkins get some stuff done.
Culpepper always getting praised.
Who?
Judge Culpepper is always getting praised.
Yeah, another great game, Judge.
I think it's a free for all for that position this summer.
Yeah,
more so than any other.
It'll be exciting, man. It'll be exciting. So I feel good about our D line going into next year overall. I'm excited about it. Yes, it sucks to lose Yetur, but in general, I feel good. Let's move to the next level. Brandon, the next level after D-line is.
All right. So what I'm doing is the linebackers here, and how I'm going to put my linebackers in the game, or is I'm going to go Dixon, Parsons, Smith, Brooks, Luketa, all at the same time. The rest of the field will figure it out, and we're going to win every game.
You're going a 5 linebacker set. Is that what I'm hearing?
Every time. Every time.
So you know what? Actually, we just figured it out. We don't even need D tackles. Just put 3 D.
3-5-3. Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, Alex.
All right. So obviously we do have a sort of what's that word? Like something of riches. What's the word?
Embarrassment of riches.
Yeah, maybe. We've got some talent at linebacker. Yeah. One of those words. So obviously Micah Parsons comes back, Brandon Smith comes back. Those guys played a whole lot. In the middle, I imagine you see Ellis Brooks and Jesse Luketa fighting it out. And then you've got Charlie Katshier also on the roster, Lance Dixon, like you mentioned, and then the 2 freshmen coming in, one of which is Curtis Jacobs, big-time recruit. So I think Micah and Brandon are absolute guarantee starters. Anyone trying to say no to that?
You think that Brandon Smith is an absolute starter over Luketa and Brooks?
Yes.
Oh no, it's field backer, Alex.
I think he's an outside backer. I think Brooks and Luketa out for the middle linebacker.
But you don't think that they'll try to put Luketa at all on the outside?
No, he can't run.
Brandon Smith has the talent, and I agree. I agree that I think that the starters are going to be Brooks at the mic, and then you're going to have Parsons and Brandon Smith at the same will. But I'm not saying. I'm just saying, is that definite? Is there any way that Luketa starts at the outside, and then you have maybe at the Sam, and then you put Ellis at the mic, and then Parsons at the will?
I think it's very possible.
Play it all.
I think it's possible.
Wait, who'd you have at Sam?
What?
Who'd you have at Sam?
Luketa, right?
I've never seen him play Sam.
Well, then you could put him. But then you could put him at the will and put Parsons at the Sam.
Why would you move Parsons from Will where he's dominating?
Because he can dominate anywhere. That's what I'm saying. I agree. Parsons, I think is. Look, I'm saying the projected is Parsons at Will, Brooks at Mike, and Brandon Smith at Sam. I agree that that's what it's going to be. But I'm saying I'm just literally just playing devil's advocate right now.
I don't agree
experience. Not zero.
I don't agree with Luketa at Sam. I think I don't know if you watched the Sam. Sam is damn near a safety. I want Smith and I want Dixon out there.
Well, and this is the problem with like as we get like we fall in love with recruits a lot. I know at least myself and Brandon's like as you see these talented kids come up, like you want to see everyone play, but like not everyone can play. And like I'm sitting here going like, yeah, I love Ellis.
Not unless we play Brandon's 5 linebacker scheme.
True. And listen, if you haven't written into Brent Pry, you need to because it's a great idea. Like
I'm running 3 D line, 2 defensive backs.
Listen, just go engage 8 the entire time. It's fine.
You
think that Luketa starts over Brooks?
I kind of lean that way.
I can see it.
This is fantastic. I think he's awesome. Ellis Brooks just second middle linebacker too. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of like Derek Brooks from back in the day. Ellis Brooks, like I feel like he should have a neck roll. He should be like the guy. But for some reason, I just love Jesse Luketa, and I want him in the mix, which obviously doesn't help.
He's going to be in the mix.
No, but I want him in the starting 3. Like I want Brandon Smith, Luketa, and Micah Parsons. Obviously, I want whoever the coaches think give us the best chance to win. But if in my head, that's the 3 I'm going with. And it's not a knock on Ellis Brooks. I don't know. There's something about Luketa. I love his passion. I love his fire. Like I want to see that mean, angry 3 linebackers just going crazy on offenses.
Ellis Brooks plays behind the line. I don't know if Ellis Brooks plays behind the line, and it's dirty. He's a hard hitter. Maybe he's not. I don't know. When he plays in the field, I know he's out there. But I love the fact he plays behind the line. But I do have the same. I think him and Luketa are just going to rotate out. I don't see any other way. Based off of what
fresh legs all game. I can't complain.
Fresh legs. Yeah. They're similar types too, right? So Brooks is 6'1", 236. Luketa is 6'3", 44. Not all that different. They play the same position. You know, I'm not saying they're interchangeable, but I'm not going to be mad whichever one starts. Like I'm happy, but Luketa is my guy.
I want to see Curtis Jacobs get some significant playing time too.
He's not going to get. I don't know about significant.
I don't know where.
Significant playing time.
Yeah, he's a guy I'm just excited for. You know.
Yeah, And then that's
I mean,
sort
I
of
just feel it's like,
Rich's thing is like you have this stud linebacker coming in, but you're like, yeah, we have 4 or 5 guys ahead of you. Like he'll probably, I think I see him in a Brandon Smith type role that he'll play some of those.
Probably.
He'll play in some of the first 2 non-conference games, get his reps in, and then they'll kind of save him for either injuries that happen and you need someone, or getting some meaningful reps in games where we're up big that are bigger games later down the stretch.
I could see him backing up Will too, backing up Micah. I could see that. Micah should not. I think Micah was off the field far too much last year.
Yeah. It's a hell of a tutelage too, though, right? You'll learn from like the best in the country. I have no problems with that. So yeah, I feel really good about linebacker. I have no problem with that.
Can we
especially because we're only getting one more season out of Micah Parsons. You know what I mean?
Yes,
yeah,
100%.
Nice to have someone there more ready to step into the role.
Yeah, exactly.
Lance Dixon, don't forget the name, Lance Dixon. Right. I am so excited to watch him play. He is a 4.4 guy, and I'm very excited to watch him play. Now he's at 220, speedy 220. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, Lance Dixon, Texas guy, right?
No, Michigan.
Oh, why did I think Texas? Oh,
yeah, he's a Michigan guy. Humphreys was from Texas, weirdly, but he's a Michigan guy. We stole him out. Of there. 5-star.
Yeah. He shot up the recruiting rankings towards the end of that cycle. Heard good things out of him from camp. So yeah, I think I'm excited there. All right, let's move to the secondary, which we all know was not one of our strong spots for most of last year. Pass defense, particularly. Starting on the
corners or safeties.
Starting on the outside. Listen, we're going in order, Alex. Get with the program.
I didn't know.
Get with the program. We're going on the outside.
Get it together.
So corner, we lose John Reed, obviously, who's been a starter and a guy that's been a big part of this program the last 4 or 5 years. We saw the emergence of some young guys last year. There's some things to be excited for, I think. So the roster, you look at Tariq Castro-Fields coming back, Donovan Johnson, who was hurt a lot last year, but he's coming back. Trent Gordon makes the move to safety, so he's not there anymore. Then you got Keaton Ellis, Marquise Wilson, Joey Porter Jr., Daquan Hardy, and a true freshman coming in of Joseph Johnson. So let's start with the obvious, maybe the elephant in the room. I know everyone here loves Tariq Castro-Fields. Is he a guaranteed starter?
Yeah.
No doubt.
Takes here, okay?
That's not. There's no doubt he's a starter.
What? Like, he didn't even have a.
What's the honorable mention last year? Big Ten.
Our corners didn't have a bad year last year. Like our cornerbacks, if you watch our blown coverages, it was not them. We had some safeties who I don't know what they were doing, but they were not getting over in the first step. Like we just had some late safeties, which is honestly what I brought up when Marcus Allen and Patrician, right? When they left.
Yeah.
They left. I brought that up. I was like, our safeties are going to be a step in second. And ever since then, even with Nick Scott, they're just a step late in that those balls to be completed versus batted down.
I want to see a good amount of Keaton Ellis this season now.
He better start opposite Tariq Castro-Fields.
Yeah.
So that's the question here, right?
Marquise Wilson and Joey Porter Jr. Come on, Alex.
Joey Porter Jr. is not going to get any play. Joey Porter Jr. I think is our number 5 guy right now. I would put Donovan Johnson over Joey Porter Jr.
I'm thinking of Hardy then. Wait, who am I thinking of?
Joey Porter played in a couple of games.
So I would go with Fields and Ellis on the outside, and I think I put Donovan Johnson in the slot. And then Marquise Wilson can kind of rotate it. Marquise Wilson has better ball skills than Donovan Johnson, but he's not as quick. I think you need a quick cornerback in the slot. And then
ball skills has been our issue for the cornerbacks though last season.
What?
I thought if there was an issue with the cornerbacks last season, it was ball skills.
Well, yeah, I mean they just didn't make the big play. Fields was in good position most of the times. He just didn't make any big plays. Like he didn't have the the interceptions that you may look for in some of the other guys like a Jeff Okudah or something like that. But
I've never seen so many perfectly thrown deep balls. I'm also going to stand by that statement.
I'm with you on that one.
I still like some of these. I'm just like the cornerback would have had to beaten the wide in terms of like he was step for step. He would have had to be a step in front of him, and some of these balls are just perfect, which always falls back on the D line.
Well, I mean, we should have decent size on the outside.
Yeah, we will. Yeah.
Because if assuming Ellis starts on the opposite of Fields.
Yeah, I mean, if your starters are Castro-Fields and Ellis, Castro-Fields is 6 foot 190, Ellis is 5'11", 183.
Well, and he's going to go up. Ellis is going to go up after.
Definitely. Don Johnson, like you mentioned, slot guy, 5'9", 180. Marquise Wilson, 5'11", 181. He's actually taller than I thought he was.
Yeah, I think I mean Johnson's the fastest of the group, so I think that I like speed at my slot cornerback.
Yeah, I think for him, it's one of those things like we never really get a lot of information on injuries and why people are out. Like, I don't know what we're getting back because Don Johnson, he got hurt early on in the season, then we just didn't see him again. I hope he's back to full strength because he started looking pretty good when he was playing. I agree. I think for me, it's Castro Fields and Ellis on the outside. I do love
Don Johnson can't play the outside. Maybe you put Marquise Wilson in over Keaton Ellis, but
I love Marquise Wilson. I love the attitude we saw from him. Like he's a guy who's just a fucking wants to go after the ball.
Yeah.
And you need some of that intensity. Like I think that's amazing. Joey Porter Jr. I don't really have a whole lot of thoughts on.
Ellis lost some weight.
Who?
Ellis. I thought he was like 190, 191 last year. He's down to 183.
I think he'll be like 195 by the time the season starts.
Yeah. It's just weird. Weird for a young guy to lose weight like that.
Yeah.
True. But yeah, I mean, in general, I feel pretty good about corner. I think we got some opportunity. We got some young guys that are going to see a lot of good time. And we're going to see that second year for Ellis and Wilson. Like you mentioned, after that first freshman year, there were times where they got burned. They were out of place. They're learning. I'm excited for that. Let's move to those safeties who cannot get over, according to Brandon Beal. This just in, Brandon Beal hates Penn State football. Michigan fan. So at safety, returning, you've got Lamont Wade, Jaquan Brisker, Jonathan Sutherland. And then you've also got CJ Holmes, Tyler Rudolph, Enzo Jennings, and Jair Brown. Enzo and Jair are two incoming freshmen. Enzo, true freshman, Jair, JUCO transfers. So Wade, Brisker, Sutherland. What are we feeling here, fellas? Pat, start it off.
I'm a big Jaquan Brisker guy. I love Jaquan Brisker. And I think he did a good job like coming on last season. He wasn't spectacular, but he had a good solid season for the first year in the program. And I thought Lamont Wade stepped up huge from kind of, being a little disappointment coming in as such a big recruit, going to the transfer portal, coming back and had a tremendous season after all that. I'm expecting more big things out of him.
Yeah, I agree there. Sutherland's the guy I love too. So I think this is the interesting one at safety, that you have three guys that are seemingly starter capable. And I know they rotated last year. How do you see this one playing out, Alex, at your safeties?
I don't know. I mean, it would just be nice if we had like a really good, like true. I mean, the definition of safety is to be the safety valve, like to be that last person on defense. And we were terrible at that last year. I mean, the safeties played good against the run. I think Lamont Wade, I think it'll an extra year of him playing. Last year he had an offseason. That was his first offseason going in to play safety. I mean, he came in playing cornerback his whole life. And so I think that extra year is going to do him good. I think he'll play a little bit better now. At least I hope. They'll have a lot of experience. I mean, it's going to be two seniors starting in the back, which should be good. I would love to see Lamont Wade kind of turn into a Malcolm Jenkins type player. I mean, he's not nowhere near as talented, obviously, but a safety converted into corner. Don't try to tell me that Lamont Wade's as talented as Malcolm Jenkins.
He's more talented.
Kind of play all over the field, and then have Brisker kind of roam back there as the deep safety. I don't know if that's going to happen, but
I don't agree with that at all. Switch that. Why would you put the former corner who? I mean, so last year in our defense, I think people forget when Johnson went down, our freshman you can't throw a freshman into the slot corner. So
when who went down?
Don Johnson.
Johnson.
Don Johnson. Okay.
When he went down last year, Wade played damn near every snap, but he played star.
But because I want him covering. He's got the ball, the cover skills to guard like a tight end, and that's what or like a slot receiver if you want to run. Like I want to.
Not a tight end.
Big I'd rather have him on.
He's like 5'9".
Like an athletic tight end.
You're talking about your ball skills and stuff. I would want him playing the field general, and then so Brisker came in last year. Brisker didn't play like field general in JUCO. That was what they were worried about, and he came in. He was a little late last year, and he got thrown into the fire, so he played great. But if you could put him in the Penn State has their safety positions are flopped. Yeah. So in the Penn State free safety position, I think that would set him up for success and have him rotate with Sutherland in that position versus. And then
I don't love Sutherland. I'm very low on Sutherland. I'm going to be honest. I've never
Really?
against the run, he's amazing. Against the pass,
Yeah, but I don't need a safe. I mean, yeah, but I don't love safeties that are good against the run. I mean, that's great to have, but like, you don't, when you think safety, you don't think, oh, I want somebody that's really good against the run.
I feel like that's kind of traditionally what we've had though. Like, who's the last Penn State safety that's been like a true ball hawk? Like Amos after he moved over from corner. Like, I mean, Marcus Allen was a downhill hitter. Garrett Taylor.
And he plays free safety.
Yeah, Garrett Taylor had his moments at safety, but he was a corner too that they moved over. I can't remember a true safety that plays like center field, like you see, like you said, Alex, like that true safety valve.
Yeah, which I would love to have.
I don't know if we have that. Maybe Lamont Wade is that, but like Brandon said, he's 5'9". Maybe you do see those matchups. It's I don't know. I like all.
Not cover a tight end.
I personally love Sutherland. I think Brisker and Wade are your starters. At Sutherland is your third guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to see too much Sutherland. I don't really like him very much.
I'm interested to see Tyler Rudolph.
Yeah, I agree. He's big and he's athletic. He's big and he's athletic. I would love to see Tyler Rudolph.
Yes,
I'm interested to see what happens with him.
TJ Holmes is the Notre
He's like 6 foot 205, 210, something like that. Like he's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's pretty quick.
Who?
Tyler Rudolph.
Yeah, 6 foot 207.
Yeah.
And he's a true safety. And and he's a redshirt.
So he's young. He's a redshirt
freshman.
Redshirt freshman. Yeah.
Redshirt freshman.
He's not. I don't think he's going to get much time, but I think that down the road he could be that ball hawking safety.
Yeah.
Interesting though, Trent Gordon to me, and that's so. James Franklin doesn't make people move. Yeah, James Franklin doesn't make people move unless he plans on playing him. So he wouldn't move him to safety unless he plans on playing him. Trent Gordon was a second string cornerback last year. Like that.
What about Joey Porter Jr.? Joey Porter Jr. is a big dude. He's like 6'2", like 210.
Yeah, he's still a. Wait, Joey Porter Jr. is not that big.
Joey Porter Jr. I'm pretty sure is like 6'2".
Let's see.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, 6'2", 192.
Okay, so and he's fill him out a little bit. He's got the instincts of the linebacker, like his dad, and then he's big. He's not as big, so he can roam. I mean, put him at put him at safety.
That won't help us this year.
Yeah, I think Trent Gordon.
That won't help us this year. I'm thinking Trent Gordon this year. I'm interested to see that move because why Franklin wouldn't move a second string cornerback to safety to have him not play. To
have him be the fourth guy. I see where you're coming from.
No, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying, why is he not? I don't know.
No, I'm talking about Trent Gordon, so I switched.
Oh.
Yeah, because I mean, in the past, the guys that they've moved, and this is obviously before Franklin too, but some guys like from corner to safety moved Amos, moved Jordan Lucas, I think was a corner. Garrett Taylor was a corner, moved him to safety. Lamont Wade, obviously corner, moved him to safety. So these are guys that like moved because there was a need and they jumped in and played. Very interesting with Trent Gordon. I wonder what kind of capacity we see him in. Then when you look future for guys that are bigger and athletic, Enzo Jennings coming in as a true freshman. He's a high 4-star recruit. Came in as an athlete, but they have him as a safety. He's 6'1", 197 as a freshman. Very excited for his future. It's looking a little bit way down the road, but pretty excited.
Do you think that what's his name, Jair Brown could play like that, like center field type position? Do you think he'll get any time? I mean, because that's more of his. He's more of that than he's not the run stopping. He's more the center field. Do you think that
Jair Brown, JUCO transfer.
Yeah, from Lackawanna County. You think he gets any time?
It's tough because there's only so many spots to put there. But he got a lot of praise in the JUCO world. I mean, he's a highly rated JUCO talent. You read up on him. He had a pretty successful time there.
I mean, he's going to be backing up that. Yeah, I mean,
wasn't Brisker rated higher at the same college?
What?
Wasn't Brisker rated higher at the same college?
I don't know. I can compare him side by side, honestly.
Lackawanna is where Jair Brown went.
That's where Brisker went too. I thought
just a hub of Penn State talent, Lackawanna Community College.
Yeah, so
Lackawanna is like northeastern Pennsylvania, like Scranton area.
Yeah, Brisker came in at 4-star, 89. Let's see, Jair Brown came in as a 3-star, 88. Okay.
Yeah, and the issue with Brisker was it wasn't his run stopping there, and we can see that It's his field skills. He didn't play. He played a true strong safety position at Black One. And that's what I was reading when he was coming in, because I thought he was going to be the saving grace that Alex was looking for.
Yeah.
I thought that. And then I read up on it and they were like, yeah, that's probably not going to happen because he's never really played like that. I was like, that's fair.
Yeah. So I think the things to look out for in safety is, does Tyler Rudolph make any sort of jump, and what happens with Trent Gordon? All right. That's
Do you actually think Trent Gordon's going to get safety time?
Why move him if he's not going to play? I mean, he was your backup corner. Like,
he's just second string corner.
Hey, the young guys at corner are that good. We know you're not going to get time there, so we want to develop you as a safety in case something happens. Like, are they preparing for maybe an injury or something like that?
I don't know. Is that what they're doing? Are they? Okay, that was like. Do you think that there's any chance that they do that?
They do what?
Yeah.
I mean, they moved Trent Gordon already. He moved from corner to safety.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that they already moved him.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
That happened
okay.
to do depth chart. So they moved him. So we're, like Brandon was saying, why make that move if he's not going to actually play there?
Yeah.
Like, the only two options are, one, he said, hey, this guy's really athletic and we want the versatility because there's a log jam at corner with some of these young guys up and coming. Or two, Franklin says, I'm not completely comfortable with my safety depth. I need extra support over there.
Yeah. I mean, they do have, I think next year, I also think that next year, you're probably going to see, like Keaton Ellis and Marquise Wilson are going to be the starting corners on the outside, or 2 years from now, are going to be starting corners on the outside. And so maybe just, he was never going to be a starter. And then you have two seniors that are going to be starting at safety. So,
Right. Yeah, I hear that, man. Well, that's our defense. I feel good about our defense. Special teams, obviously the most important one. Only question I'll ask here: who's going to be the punter? Is it going to be the 5-star walk-on, quote unquote 5-star, or does Jordan Stout, the touchback Jesus, become our punter?
I have no idea.
Come on, man.
I have zero opinion in this. Like, I've
the most important position. That's why I saved it for last.
I don't know.
I don't know if Jordan Stout's got the touch for punter.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm thinking.
Let's set the table. Obviously, we lost Blake Gillikin, who's been our mainstay at punter for the last 4 years. Kicking last year, we saw the combination of Pinniger and Stout. Pinniger for the shorter ones, Stout for the longer ones, and Stout for kickoffs. So at punter, we do have a walk-on coming on. And he's a highly ranked punter, in the kicking world. And then we have Jordan Stout, who can punt as well. And he's, shown some videos of the offseason of him punting. So I don't have a preference. I don't have any knowledge on this, but I think that would be kind of cool to see him punt.
Okay. But beyond that, I mean, I don't know if we haven't talked about the kick and punt returners yet.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even get there. I didn't have it on my list. Okay.
I mean, I don't give a shit about the kicker or the punter.
That hurts. That hurts.
But I do, but I have no opinion on it.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's wrap it up. Kick return, punt return. KJ Hamler obviously gone. This spot is kind of wide open. Alex, you brought it up. Take it away.
Well, I like keeping Dotson back there at punt returner. I think that he spelled Hamler a lot last year, and I don't really see too much of a need to change that. At kick returner, I mean, last year it was Hamler, and then Journey Brown was the other guy.
I don't like that.
I don't love Journey Brown back there. I mean, I wouldn't hate giving.
Why?
What? No, I mean, I do, but I mean, I guess Penn State's always done. I don't like having your starting running back as the kick return. It just hits. I don't think that
we got a whole stable.
Yeah.
I know we did. I mean, we had Saquon Barkley back there returning kicks, and I never liked that, even though he was the best kick returner for us.
No, I agree with that, Alex. It's not that I don't like Journey Brown as a returner. Like being a starter and
so slow your roll. I think he's too important to put at kick returner.
Yeah. Dude, put Devin Ford back there. We saw him break these.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Put somebody like a Devin Ford back there, and see what he can do. Or put like one of those big athletic, like fast cornerbacks back there, or defensive backs back there.
Yeah.
Let Micah Parsons return punts.
Put some. Hey, we put Gerald Hodges back there. We could put Micah Parsons. I wouldn't be surprised if they put Micah Parsons.
True. It's true.
So, I don't know. I mean, I don't hate putting someone like Devin Ford back there.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw in that I am so excited to see Micah Parsons play this year. So I'm gonna add that to this.
Can't wait.
Wait, who do you want back at kick returner?
I don't know. Somebody fast. I don't know.
All right. So let's wrap here because we've been streaming for a solid 2 hours. Thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate you. And thanks to the 1 to 2 people that have watched us this whole time. We love you guys. So let's wrap up here. Assuming that we get college football back on a normal timeline and everything is right in the world, what's the one thing you are most excited for this year's team? Brandon, you kind of started with Micah Parsons. What are you most excited for?
So obviously the defense. Like if I have to use the bathroom, I will wait until it's the offensive series. Like I am so excited to see the defense play. I'm ready to see them play fast. I was talking about it earlier. They're not thinking. They're just hitting, running, instinctually playing. I can't wait to see our defense play. And I can't wait to see Cliff take that next step that I know he will.
Yep.
Oh my God! Who is this optimistic person that I? This is not.
This is off season, Brandon, right here.
This is not Brandon Beal.
This is not mid-season.
Wait till Clifford's first incomplete pass, and then it all goes downhill.
I was gonna say this is the part in a movie where you see him say that, and then it flashes to that first incompletion. He goes, "Fucking hate Clifford." Man.
He was all in on Trace McSorley last year.
Yep.
So 2 years ago.
At
Oh
this
yeah.
time.
I was like, yeah, Trace, he's got it. And then I saw the throws.
Yeah. All right. We're staying positivity. We'll save that for another episode. Pat, what are you most excited for?
I was also going to say the defense, but I need a different answer. I'm excited for our new offensive coaches, O-line coach and new offensive coordinator. The steps that I think the offense will take and that Clifford will take as well.
Yeah. New wide receivers coach too. A lot of changes on offense. Alex, what are you most excited for this year?
I'm excited for the two-headed monster of Journey Brown and Noah Kane. I think that they're going to be dominant this year. I just think that the way that we're going to run our offense is just going to be like ground and pound and then hit the deep shot when you can. And I think it is going to be a lot. Last year, I felt like there were times when we were going well with our run game and we kind of go away from it. I don't think that's going to happen this year. And I really, really think it's going to be a huge year for both Kane and Brown.
Yeah. Damn, that was going to be my answer, the running back. So I will swap it up. I'm excited to see Pat Fryermuth win the Mackey Award. Comes back for a year. Could have declared, could have gone to the NFL. Gets a new offensive coordinator who traditionally has not used tight ends because he hasn't had tight ends. I think, you got a guy that has gotten some praise as an offensive coordinator that has a stud at tight end. Very excited.
2 first-team All-Americans this year, 1 on offense and 1 on defense.
Oh, I am excited to see Micah Parsons win the Heisman Trophy. First
There it
defensive player to do it in, like 20 years.
He could have had 3 pick sixes last year. And I think that's what he needs to catch those and to return them this year.
He's got to work on those hands.
Yeah, he does.
Did you see that?
I would like to say
that
that
Coach Franklin, he was like, "Let me play offense," and who was it? Pat. Someone
Pat
was like,
Fryermuth.
"How many interceptions you dropped? Stick to defense." It was great.
So I do want to say though, just a small statistical sampling for the audience. Within the last 5 years, when Penn State's had a black wide receivers coach, the receivers have been good. So just keep that in mind that the receivers are coming back. And that's
Taylor Stubblefield. No,
statistically proven.
No pressure to Taylor Stubblefield.
Can we do one more question?
Yeah, listen. I have.
Can we just say what storyline we're most excited for in college football beyond Penn State?
Oh, I love it. Let's go.
I'll go last.
Okay.
I have 2, so I want to see if someone says one of them. I'll say the other one.
Okay. Storyline you are most excited for the college football season coming up. Brandon.
Beyond Penn State.
Not Penn State.
Justin Fields.
I was going to say the Justin Fields Trevor Lawrence Heisman race is going to be amazing.
I don't even care about the Heisman race. I just want to watch Justin Fields play. Trevor Lawrence is already proven he can do what he can do. But I also hate.
I think Justin Fields has too. I mean, he was second place in the Heisman.
But I can't wait to watch Justin Fields play this year. Leaving it at that.
There you go. All right.
Look at it.
Out for you.
I'm interested to see how much Joe Brady meant to LSU's offense now that he's gone.
Oh.
Yeah. That's an interesting one. Everyone wanted him for our OC. He is now with Carolina Panthers. I mentioned earlier, LSU's lost a decent bit under Coach O there. Alex, your Heisman race, is that what you're excited for there?
No. I'm most excited for football in the state of Mississippi. Mike Leach coming to Mississippi State and Lane Kiffin going to Ole Miss. I'm so excited to see how those 2 programs turn out with those guys there.
That Egg Bowl is going to be incredible.
Like the 800 millionth chance in the world. and Mike Leach just being the fucking funniest fucker in the world going to Mississippi State, both in their first years. I would love to see them make some noise in the SEC West.
Dude,
what one peeing dog celebration did to everybody in every
know,
state.
Like those programs were just like not Mississippi State. Ole Miss was just like has been in shambles, I feel like. And then they try to fix that by hiring Lane Kiffin. Like this is just too perfect.
If you follow Mike Leach on Twitter, it's so funny. He posts like memes that were like grandma would post on Facebook. He doesn't post any context. He just posts it, and it's fucking hilarious. Interesting you mentioned the Heisman. We had one of our gambling friends on before last year, gave us a stat that held up this year. The last 7 years, whoever opens the season, the top 5 favorites have not actually won. So every year it's been someone coming from unknown. And Joe Burrow did it this year. So yeah, it should be Fields or Lawrence, but I think it'll be very interesting to see who's that guy that's going to come take that spot.
Probably Micah Parsons.
I agree. I'm excited for all those storylines. I think for me, it's the national running back scene. We saw a lot of guys come back that could have been in this draft. Najee Harris, Chuba Hubbard, Journey Brown couldn't have gone to the draft.
Travis Etienne.
Travis
Yes, he could have.
is what I'm thinking about.
Journey Brown could have gone to the draft.
No, could he?
Redshirt sophomore.
Hey, what's his name? Is he out? Didn't Master T get isn't he out for the year?
Is he? Ohio State kid?
Yeah.
They didn't. When I saw the injury report, it was an Achilles injury. They did not report the severity of the injury at the time. I haven't looked at it since then.
They just brought in a grad transfer running back, though, didn't they?
Yeah, but he was
they just brought in before they have a 5-star from last year. It is a huge loss, but it'd be similar to us losing Journey Brown.
Yeah,
knock on wood. It's sad, but we literally our production. It won't be so hurt where I don't think it's going to cost any games.
Yeah, no, I just think I think you're going to have a couple of stud running backs across the country with Harris, Hubbard, Etienne. I'm putting Journey Brown in there because it's a Penn State podcast. And obviously some other guys that'll come out of nowhere. Of course, the Heisman is a quarterback award at this point. It always will be. I love watching these running backs just fucking crush it.
Also, who do you guys think starts at quarterback for USC this year?
USC,
they had JT Daniels was the recruit that won Gatorade National Play of the Year 2 years in a row, super highly touted recruit. Then he came in as a starter, was playing really well. Then he got hurt, and then Keaton Slavis came in and played really, really well. But Slavis and JT, I don't know how much you guys give on that, but Slavis and JT Daniels are they haven't announced a starter yet, and
interesting.
Those guys are really, really high. I imagine one of them's going to transfer, whichever one doesn't get the starting job.
Yeah, I have not followed closely enough to comment on that. But another quarterback battle, my younger brother just texted me watching. Shout out, Mike. I said the biggest storyline in college football will be Tate Martell's redemption story when he leads Miami to a natty.
Love it.
Wait, who was
Love it?
Who was it? Oh, yeah, what's his name? Greg Ward's now at Miami. That's another storyline to watch, the Houston transfer. Right, not Greg Ward. That was the old Houston team.
Oh, no, King.
Yes.
King.
Yeah. D whatever.
Yeah.
This is another reason I love that show QB1 so much. Because first you've got Jake Fromm goes to Georgia, then Justin Fields goes to Georgia, transfers. I think because they had Fields, Fromm, and Tate Martell all on the show.
It was Eason. Jacob Eason, not Tate.
No, on the show, QB1.
On the show, QB1.
Guys, they were following their high school. Yeah, good show.
I thought you meant on Georgia's team.
Drama.
No, this is a good topic. All right, let's wrap this up here. That's a good topic. National storylines. Let's pick this up again in a month or so, and we'll dive deep into some of those.
Dig it.
Please don't. Hope you're saying we're still in corona restrictions in a month.
No, I'm just saying we're gonna continue podcasting. Fun.
Dude, we're still on. LA's on restrictions until the 19th of April.
My God, yeah. Utah hasn't done anything yet. Atlanta's on a 2-weeker, but
they closed everything. They closed all the hiking and trails and the parks, the beaches. They closed everything.
Damn. Yeah, New York City's kind of wild right now. So stay inside, be safe, stay at home.
I saw this thing on Twitter where some nurses were quitting over working conditions. I was like, I better be careful because they will draft you guys. That will happen where they force you guys to go into work, and it can happen. They will do it.
It's crazy, man. crazy.
Yeah.
All right, well, fellas, this has been fun. Appreciate the time. Looking forward to doing more of this. And like I said, let's hope the world is safe, but also hope we get college football as planned.
Joe, did you see Kirk Herbstreit said that he doesn't think we're gonna?
I know. I wasn't going to bring that up.
Not that Kirk Herbstreit knows any more than anybody else.
Well, listen, he's an insider. He did say that. So
You're the one who brought it up, Alex.
Yeah. Here's to Kirk Herbstreit being.
news.
I know I brought it up.
Fake news.
All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.
All right, later.